looks like I'm live across the board on the Dark Waters radio channel over the Paranormal radio app and my channel over on YouTube. Chasing Through Sean G. Sean Graham here. And holy cow, just got off Dark Waters live stream about to, let's see. Let me get a little closer here. See what's going on. Yeah, I don't want to be overpowering or anything. But hey, folks, welcome to Chasing the Truth. And I appreciate you being a part of it again. Look, Kaya, what's going on? Alien. Is that the first thing you say? Alien? Okay, well, alright. Holy cow, what's going on in your backyard there, Kaya? But just said a prayer with my good and bestest buddy, the love of my life, Harry. Miss T, as everybody else knows her. Let me get this audio off here. There we go. Stop this thing right there. What's going on? Sheila Carr, Brown Dwarf, Scott, James, Joe. Who else is in here? Marquita. Andy, Warhol's Wig. What's going on? Claire, what time is it over there in the great UK? Keith King. Trying to give an image. Okay, here you go. I got an alien image for you. Oh, just a second. Right here. There's an alien. Give you that alien image right there, Lakaya. But tonight is open lines, unscreened callers. Welcome. Now let me hold on just a second. Let me get this thing. Yeah, okay. I'm ready for anybody and everybody wants to call in. 931-994-6917. You can text that number as well. We'll be hopping back and forth as we need to do to fill those lines, fill the show. But yeah, there you go. That is the Chasing the Truth UFO alien thing. I've got a few other images that I've populated, put in there that kind of fits in with the decor of the show. Aaron, what's going on? Please like, share, and subscribe. Let's see. Hold on just a second. Let me look up here and see what I got. Each one of these OBS studio links I've got going on here changes from time to time. But let's see. All right. Brown Dwarf, what's going on? Love that image. Well, looked like Vault said something in DW's live stream that you saw something that was alien. Give me eggnog, lady. It's been a while since I've had eggnog, but 'tis this season or about ready to be eggnog time, so. Well, I might put that in my grocery cart, eggnog. I'll have to look that up. That kind of reminds me of something. But let's see. Here we go. Let's try this one. This one seems to be, I like that old truck right there. Really do. Just one of those things. But tonight is open lines, and I definitely need your help by calling in. You know, somebody asked me, I think Eggnog Lady asked me earlier. Hold on just a second. I think I just got another, let's see. My alien images, Walt was talking about earlier. Oh, cool. Well, you'll need to send me that at Chasing the Truth, Sean G, or not Chasing the Truth, gee whiz. Sean G at IamDarkWaters is the email. The text, I can get text, alphanumeric text, but to actually get the alien images, I can't get those on those texts, so you'll have to email them to me at SeanG@IamDarkWaters.com. SHAWNG at IamDarkWaters.com. Let me get that email up there. I think I got it right here. Here we go. There's my email there. If you want to drop that in there, and I'll keep an eyeball on the let's see, radio show. All right. This Saturday over on the Dark Waters channel, I will have a Shawnee that I had on probably about 3 months ago, 4 months ago. Al is his name, and he's going to be talking about, give us some more stories about the darker side of shamanism and the Shawnee, and taking a lot of calls there. But there you go. Wow. Crazy stuff's happened over in the Vault of Nightmares backyard. I've seen some crazy stuff over there. Heard some crazy stuff. Hey, Lisa Ray, what's going on? Thanks. Let's see. I appreciate that. Let me get the mailbox and run over here and see what we got. Get new email. Well, that's weird. Why is that doing that? That's no. Well, apparently there was a new update I wasn't aware of on my email app. So we'll have to wait to see what's going on there. Wait for that to pop up, see what's going on. And got Lisa Ray popping in. Thank you for coming aboard there. Bass Mayhem, what's up? Scott says Vault's yard is wild. Yeah, we got Vault's. Vault has definitely got a wild backyard. I think that's why they bought the place. Or that wild backyard. So, yep, there we go. Let's see. Google. It says I'm live. Well, there you go. Thank you, Google, for telling me I'm live. And there you have it. All right, so let's go over here to, let's go to Safari. Go over here and see what's going on. Over there. Send the word over there. Looks like November 16th over on the paranormal URL. Phantoms of Monsters, 40 in research, phantomsmonsters.com, November 16th entry, which was yesterday, possible alien abduction by small pale humanoid in Invergary, Scotland, folks. Just to let you get up there. That will go in with the theme of Vault and Lakea saying, hey, we got something going on over there. I haven't got that email yet there. Sean G at imdarkwaters.com if you're sending me an email. Let me make sure I don't have it in my archive or trash or anything like that. Sometimes that crap gets in there and goes into my junk stuff, but doesn't look like it. Got all kinds of other junk stuff. Hey, do you want to sell a t-shirt? We'll give them to you for free. But that's about it. And something about TikTok. I don't want anything about TikTok. TikTok drives me insane. 931-994-6917 is the number to call. Let me get that. Let's see. Marquita, you got the number wrong. It's not 3. The number you listed was wrong. 931-994-6917 is the actual number. Please and thank you for being in there and dropping the links and the number. But we're talking about right now what's happened over yesterday. Scotland woman observes a small, thin, pale humanoid with black eyes. Ooh, black eyes. A black female. Oh, a black-eyed female in a room. I misspoke there. She didn't recognize. Black-eyed adults. I think I've heard that before. She is soon transported back into her bedroom several hours later. Holy cow. So I set up, let's see, one night, March 2020, March of last year, in my home near Invergary, Scotland. I woke up in the middle of the night, around 1 to 2 a.m. Why is it always late at night when these things show up? Had an overwhelming feeling of fear that I could not shake. I felt like someone was in my house or something was wrong. I really felt terrified. My first instinct was, oh my God, my kids. Then I noticed our bedroom was pitch black, which is very usual for us. Normally have the TV on in our room. all night with the volume down. I don't like to sleep without the TV on. I'm the same freaking way. I don't like sleeping out without something going on in the room. But you know, oh, there you go. I did get that email. Okay, I'll look at it here in just a second. So I was set up fast in my bed and went to grab my Sky controls from in between me and my partner. This is where I always leave them so I could get some light in the room to see where I see going to get the bedroom house for intruders or just peace of mind. I've had weird feelings where I can sense things sometimes. Others don't. This happened my entire life. Let me get another sip of coffee here. Medium dark roast McCafe. I got from Walmart, but did not get paid for that, other than I'm drinking their coffee. Just as I grabbed the TV remote, everything changed almost like a glitch. It was like I was blinked and I found myself laying down in bed again. But now I'm on my left side facing toward my partner, but I couldn't see him, and I was in a room I did not recognize. It was dimly lit and the light was almost rose-colored. I could see details on the ceiling, or what I took to be the ceiling. Now, this is PhantomandMonsters.com, yesterday's thrilling post there. Thank you for that, the PayPal thing there, Lisa. Appreciate that. Dropping that in there. I've been meaning to do that and haven't done that in a while. Thank you for doing that, Lisa. And on the ceiling between the humanoid at my feet, I tried to scream more and louder, but I could not get a word out or move a muscle. So you kind of wonder, sleep paralysis, that's the first thing pops into my mind, sleep paralysis, but is it really sleep paralysis? Or something induced some sort of paralysis where you cannot wake up? Now, I ran sleep labs for a living for, I guess the better part of 12, 13, 14 years. And I can honestly tell you, when I hear, hey, every time that you see something in your house, something at your bed, it has to do with sleep paralysis or sleep dreaming intruding on your real life. Is that a answer for everything? No, it's not. That's a freaking cop out. But everybody just jumps up and says science. And that's exactly what they use when they don't want to believe it. And, hey, Shell, what's going on? And I've experienced weird things my whole life. So, let's see. This lady that reported back to Lon Strickler at PhantomsandMonsters.com said that I looked at the time, and it was 6:15 a.m. I told my partner what I had experienced. I also told my father. They both felt maybe I was dreaming or maybe I was suffering from sleep paralysis, which I just explained. Sometimes it's okay to use that, and sometimes I honestly don't think that's what it really is. I've experienced sleep paralysis a couple of times as a child. It was not the same. This experience was different. The whole event felt real and very difficult. Now, I've had sleep paralysis myself. I had a bout of it when I first started being a respiratory therapist, and I dreamt my late brother was on my chest, and I was cussing him out, and I couldn't move, and I'd wake up and struggle to move, and I'd get out of it, and I'd like, oh, crap, and then I'd fall back asleep, and I'd do the same thing. Had about a month or two of that. That's the weirdest sensation to have, and I don't think this is it. I don't think she was struggling in this dream, but that being said, who knows? Let's see. Let's go to the chat over here. Let's jump on the chat. Airing, building, science, falsely so-called. Science is extremely biased. People will say, well, no, it's not. It looks at both sides. Well, if it's pure science, maybe. But science is extremely biased on the person that's interpreting And Holly says sleep paralysis is terrifying. Absolutely it is, without a doubt. I've had bouts of it, had people in my room or in my sleep lab that had sleep paralysis, and it is definitely one of those things that you just can't circumvent. It's a known critter, but does that explain everything? I saw a guy, I forgot what that guy's name. He was explaining campers that had encounters with Bigfoot secondary to sleep paralysis. I was like, well, how does that explain every frickin' encounter with Bigfoot? And I asked for, I forgot what this guy's name was. Anyway, that being said, is that a good theory? Well, that's about as any theory as anything out there. I don't think sleep paralysis really explains everything that happens. Science that cannot explain it. It's our interpretation of what God put us in. Thank you for the dropping the links. Please, if you want to be a part of the show and you want to drop in and give us some sort of hit that thumbs up. That helps out the show a little bit, gets us available in the algorithms that the big Google monopoly says, hey, if they got a like or whatever, I think they actually will start dropping dislikes, tell you the truth. But holy cow, who knows? Thank you again for dropping those links there, Marquita, and everyone else. Lisa, thank you for start dropping those links in there too. But definitely, this is open lines, meaning you call 931-994-6917. You'll get right through to me. Nobody else will answer that phone. And as soon as you hear my voice, you will be live. Live. Paranormal Heart, what's going on? Hadn't heard you. Tell us some of your encounters. Well, let's see. I actually had a show last Wednesday. I spent 2 hours talking about my near-death experience. And I'm not going to get it. Oh, wow. Hey, Mongolian Monster, what's going on, brother? Hadn't seen you in a hot minute. Hope everything's going okay and your dogs are okay. And all that great stuff. Definitely drop your link over there. WTF, what the fascination. Mongolian Monster, one of the shows that I look forward to seeing twice a week. I think he has it Tuesdays and Thursdays. Live stream. Similar format, but he does it via links to StreamYard. And you can join it with a camera or without a camera. So, hold on just a second. Got a unscreened caller right now. Give me just a second, get you online. And you are a live unscreened caller. What's going on?
Nothing much, man. I have no idea who I am, but I think I should sound familiar.
You sound bald to me. I swear.
Exactly.
Yeah, you do sound bald to me. Hey, what's going on? Wes Vick from Dogman Cams, the guy to see when you're messing with the Dark Waters family of shows. So what's going on with you, brother? Heard you had a little bit of an issue, and glad that God seen you through it.
Yes, sir. That, number one, I'm glad. I appreciate everyone was praying for me. Believe me, that's beyond words grateful on that. I also wanted to go ahead and get straight to it. Pretty much, I am definitely trying to get guests for these shows. Vault of Nightmares needing definitely some guests. If anyone's willing to step forward and try to...
Z Wickle has been off the chain with her conversations.
Yes, so.
Yeah. Yeah, she's called on my show a couple times, and I'm like, wow, this happened in your truck, around your truck? Yeah.
I know, right?
Truck drivers are fantastic for these crazy, wild stories, and you're like, okay. Yeah, the first trucker I had a trucker on probably about 2 years ago. Yeah, I've been doing this for about 3+ years, so yeah, 2 years ago, I had a trucker on that told me tons of UFO stories.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And then he was just elaborate, and then I got him on, and he had stage fright. And I was like, damn it. That's just part of it. I don't fault him for it. I've had stage fright myself. I went through it on
When I
my
started
own
doing
show.
this, I did. When I
Oh
started
yeah.
doing all this, I was terrified. Not so much anymore, but let me tell you, it's always in the back of your head. I totally understand and empathize with people who have
What Kaz says, you hide your wig.
it. No, actually, I have a wig. It's just invisible. But anyway,
It's a see-through wig.
exactly right. No, but anyway, what I was also going to say is I'm not going to be on here very long. You know me, I kind of once I'm done speaking, is it. But I'm
Oh
just going
yeah.
to get to the point. Basically, I'm going to be putting out a couple of things. Y'all want to listen to them, and I'm still working on Werewolf Hunter Chapter 3. That thing is, again, it takes time for me to actually just get in my brain in out. I have to literally, it's not just being able to sit down and do it. It has to be literally the motivation. And it's getting there, but it's just taking time. My latest story I released was kind of a tie-in to that series. So if you guys want to listen to it, it's called April the Founder.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to take a gander with that one. I'm also going to be releasing very soon one of my cryptid videos is going to be kind of an expansion on the Dogman thing. It's going to be different types, but it's going to be more like the types from different cultures, mainly from Egyptian and African. Just kind of different takes on that.
Okay, well that's cool. Cool.
Does
cool,
anyone have
cool.
any questions for me?
Let's see. Any questions for Wes Vick? Thaddeus Cray in the chat. He's going to release a third chapter of Werewolf Hunter. I believe that's the name, isn't it?
Correct?
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Just give it a few months. It'll be out. Hopefully much sooner than that, but I just can't tell you when. But I'm working also on a few other projects.
Andy Warhol's wig says, "I'm not the wig you're looking for."
Pretty sure. Yeah, Andy Warhol. Yeah, unfortunately, I loved a couple of his films, but he's just too weird even for me.
Oh yeah. Well, let's see. I don't think they got any questions or comments or anything. So, has the paranormal stuff calmed down since you moved?
Very much so, yes. I still have the
All right.
dreams at times, but I have not had any negative experiences other than my own mental issues. But other than that, when it comes to spiritual anything, thank God, no.
Oh yeah, that's the paranormal stuff. I've had some oppressive stuff happening to me lately. Thank God, rebuking and prayer works, and
Sure.
it's helped out quite a bit. I've been to the point where I said, God, please get this thing off of me. And sometimes it's just like that. Sometimes it's like I start doing stuff and it's gone, and like, oh wow, thanks God. So, yeah, I know what you're talking about. About the oppressive crap, and it does affect me almost daily sometimes. I just have to, rely on prayer.
Yes, sir. All right, I ain't gonna be hanging anymore. Hopefully, if anyone else wants to call in, feel free to. Believe me, it was an awesome show to do so.
All right, thanks. Appreciate you calling in as always, and drop a link to Thaddeus Cray's YouTube channel over there. He's always got something going on over there. Sometimes it's just a quick blurb. Sometimes it's actually a real story. The third chapter of Werewolf Hunter will be dropped in the near future, I think. So let's see. Let me get this thing out. Of course, this is Unscreened, open lines on the Dark Waters radio channel over in the Paranormal Radio app. If you're over there, give me a call and just say, hey, I heard you over on the Paranormal Radio app. I'd like to say howdy or get off the air. you're messing up my groove or whatever. Good, bad, or ugly. Comments, stories of the truth. Truthful stories, of course. 931-994-6917 or text me a story. I did get Lakea's. Hold on just a second. Let me get this up to where I found out I can just drag and drop things. I don't know if it's going to translate from one thing once you start moving pictures and whatnot from one medium to the next. Okay, we got a caller. A live caller just called in. Okay, live caller, give me just a second. Get you on board here, and we'll get you live in 3, 2, 1. Okay, Unscreened caller, you are live. Where are you from, and what's your name?
Oh, Michael Owens from Grand Prairie, Texas.
Hey, Michael, you're going to have to...
Hey, how you doing, Sean?
Yeah, you're going to have to turn your radio or whatever you're listening to me off in the background. I hear my voice in the back there. Well, so what's going on with you, brother?
Oh, well, everything will be okay today, but I got a black eye.
How'd you do that?
My dog, oh my gosh. He's trying to mix martial arts wrestle me or something. Anyway, what kind of encounter are you looking for tonight? Paranormal or Bigfoot, Dogman, or what?
You tell me. It's open lines. You know, the caller is the dealer here, so what you got?
Oh, well, shoot. Let's start with 10 years old, first Bigfoot encounter.
Now, for folks that don't, hold on just a second. For the folks that don't know who Mike is, Mike's called in a few times, told me a few stories from Dogman to his own near-death experience, but he is currently blind, correct?
Yeah, I've been blind for a little over a decade.
Okay, all right. So just to let you know that I recognize who this is. So go ahead. 10 years old, Bigfoot encounter.
Okay, I'm in the woods with my slingshot, and I'm trying to pick out the perfect iron ore for shot. You know, you got to get perfect, nice round size and stuff. Squirrel hunt and well, I always in the woods. Okay, I've been going in these woods every summer since I was about 6. I've been going in these woods, and it just anytime you're in the woods, it feels like you're being watched. I mean, just really, really does. Hold on just a second.
All right, go right ahead.
I'm going to cut that air conditioner off.
Oh, you're in an area where air conditioning is needed? It's currently 55 here. It's been down in the 20s recently in the mountains of southwest Virginia on the Kentucky border. But where are you located?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm 17 miles west of Dallas. The land that this encounter happened on was on Highway 69 between Rusk and Alto, like right, 7 miles from Rusk, 6 miles from Alto. There's a roadside park right across from the highway. So it's like, we get a lot of traffic. There's it's one of those 4 foot by 4 foot concrete culverts on the highway that they go through from one side to the other a lot, and that comes out right on our land. But they've been watching me probably as long from day one of me going in the woods, and I could always feel something watching me, but I couldn't catch it. I couldn't catch it. And I'm a kid, and I'm like, yeah, I'm scared of monsters, but I don't see no monsters. I don't see nothing. You watching me? I don't know.
All right.
And so this day I'm 10. This is 87. In summertime 87, and I'm picking up these pieces of iron ore, and something's watching me, and I can tell it's behind me. I can feel it boring its eyes in the back of my head. So I pick up this stone that's probably a pound or two of iron ore, about the half size of a man's hand, and I lift it up. I reached way down low, and I picked it up, and I lifted it up real fast, and I chunked it behind me and a little bit to the left, and I knew there was a patch of ground right there that was open, no bushes and stuff. And so it goes in the air and it takes 3 or 4 seconds, and I hear it go thump, and as soon as it goes thump, I step to the left 2 steps behind this big old tree. It's like, 2.5 foot, wide. And I just stood there behind the tree. Right. And I hear this, I hear a little bit of a scrape, and I hear dun, 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 something real heavy, moving, and it's moving toward me. Mm-hmm. And I look to the left, and this
This.
She passes by me, and her hair brushes my face.
She passed
The
that
hair
guy,
on
so
her-
it was
the
a
hair-
female Squatch.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is daytime, because I'm out in the woods on a day. It's suicide to go out there at night. This is daytime, but it's still really gloomy in these woods.
Okay.
And I did not know she was a female at this point, but I'm saying she because, she is the she there. So she passes by me, brushes my face with the hair on her arm, and goes, 3-4 more strides, and she's like, 10, 15 feet in front of me, and I snap my finger. She turns, yeah, she turns around, and I wave, and then I run.
You wave at the Bigfoot and then run.
I wave at her because I see her breast. I run. I wave at her and I run.
Okay. Are we?
I run toward the creek.
Describe how big this thing was, and
this was not dome-headed anything. She was 8.5 feet tall. She was built huge. Her shoulders were the size of like basketballs.
All right.
And probably 3.5, 4 foot across at the shoulder. 3 foot thick from back to chest. If you count, her breast and everything. 3 foot thick. I'm talking about a massive, massive.
So it's not like Dolly Parton proportions? Is what you're
No,
okay.
They were hanging. They were hanging, and they were wider than human breast.
Okay.
But yeah, she had hair everywhere except for, it was a lot lighter on the breast and her face, and just around the sides of her face and top, and it's just like, I don't know. Their hair kind of leans forward and all out, and it's fuzzy, and yeah, but her hands, her fingernails were just so wide, and they were thicker than ours, a lot thicker than ours.
So was it claw-like, these fingernails, or what are we talking about?
No, they were just really. Well, I've got one toe that gets this like fungus under the nail, and it like makes it look like a monster claw. Her fingernails were thick like that, but they weren't like any claw at all.
Okay.
It was just real thick nails that were, looked like they'd get wore off by stuff she'd done.
Wow. Okay. All right. So what? How did you? When you told the story at 10 years old, who'd you tell, and what were the reactions?
I didn't really. I didn't really tell anybody right then. Let's put it like this. At that time, I was the one that was being sent out in the woods to feed the hogs.
Why were you? We're talking wild hogs?
Yes. My grandfather had a 600-pound male and a 400-pound female, and he was trying to get them to have babies that year. And yeah, he had a big wooden pen that, they were out in the woods. And I'm like, I didn't figure out this until a long time later.
Okay.
That was bait.
Oh, so the vault of
my
nightmares.
grandpa had bait out in the woods.
And that was bait for what exactly? The hogs were
to
bait
keep
for
them
what?
away from the house.
Oh, so the vault of nightmares and the bacon thing is true, whether it's cooked bacon or off the hoof bacon.
Yeah,
All right.
because I mean, and it wasn't Bigfoot that did it.
All right.
So yeah, that was the other bad guy. But yeah, that's another story. I had whenever I ran about 30 feet to the creek, and there was a tree. I knew where this one tree was. It had this vine that was hanging down, and I had cut this vine a while back, and I'd been using it to swing across the creek. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get away here. I know this creature's fast, but watch this.
Okay, let's jump back. I'd like to ask one question. Actually, Stimulate asked in chat, and I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good question. I should ask that. When this thing ran by you and practically just brushed its hair up next to you, did you smell anything?
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
She smelled like a girl that ain't washed in a couple of years.
So what? Say that one more time. What did it smell
nice,
like?
though. That's really not nice to say on that.
Why not? We're looking for a true story, so go for it.
But yeah, no, she didn't smell good at all.
Didn't smell good to go. Like
no,
skunk or BO or all the above?
She didn't smell like skunk, but it sure smelled dirty.
Okay. All right.
But it was distinct, that smell though. Yeah, it had that smell. It had the girl funk, and yeah, it was.
All right. Well,
you would not want.
Oh, well, that's that. So this happened at age 10, and since then, how many times have you had any encounters with cryptids?
After I went across the creek on the vine, I turned around and basically held my arms wide open, and I'm like, I'm not an enemy. I'm okay, and I just walked away. And after that, there were lots. I mean, every time I got in the woods, I was always watched in the woods by them. I mean,
so has anybody in your family been watched by them, or there seems to be a familial thing when they start paying attention to one person in the family.
My sister had one. I don't know if it was a female or male. Come up and look at her through the kitchen window, and it was like 4 feet away. It looked through the kitchen window, and the kitchen window was like 8-9 feet off the ground.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, these things were watching you while you're in the house.
Yeah, apparently there were. I mean, there was lots of times that I would feel them at the windows. The times that I could feel something at the window and it didn't have fear projecting out of it, I consider those the Bigfoots. And whenever I felt something at the window watching me that did project fear, that was Dogman. But yeah,
okay.
It seemed like after that day, she didn't really just show herself all the time, but she wasn't, just watching me. But the younger ones, her young, would always be around watching me, and they had this game that they, really liked playing. They wanted to see how close they could get to me. If they could touch me without me seeing them, yeah, it that made their day.
So it was like a game. Get as close to Mike as we can without him knowing.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you could spook him, that's even better. But yeah, get the closest to Michael as you can. Yes.
Oh, that's I guess, they say that once we get in their backyard out in the woods, it's sort of like, hey, new program's on, let's go watch.
That was my backyard. That was my woods, and I wasn't going to just give it up.
Right.
And, I mean, they wasn't hurting me. So, yeah, I got acorns and pine cones tossed at me, but I toss them back. It's not a.
There's this old boy that I've been following that lives over in Kentucky. On his YouTube channel, he doesn't normally do any Bigfoot here lately since he has two babies. But he went up on his property near was it Whitesburg, Kentucky, I believe. But anyway, he owns a lot of property over there. And he went up there squatching, and he was doing, I don't think it was a live feed, but he kind of posted it afterwards, and he got hit square in the back with a rock. And it was like, nope.
Oh, my.
Yeah, and he's, these feng shui deals with rocks being, gathered and put on one on top of the other. He found that on his property a few times. But, yeah, it's strange how they take a fascination to you.
Yeah,
what they would
do. I like how they sit there and knock certain size trees over and put them all in the same direction, like they're telling you, go that way.
Well, I have personally seen where something has drug up like 2 and 3 year old trees, with the actual tree trunk about the size of a Coke can, root ball and all, and thrown up.
Yep, roots and all.
Yeah, roots and all, high up into a bigger tree, and you're like, well, I couldn't do that. And I was a pretty good-sized boy at that time. Still a pretty good-sized boy, but I'm one leg down, so to speak. But
it happens.
It happens. But, yeah, I'm like, well, what is that a sign of? I never really thought about it. I kind of filed it in the back of my head, said, well, okay, I'm not exactly sure. And some other stuff happened that I kind of wonder, did I have some squatches around this old place that's about no more than 3 or 4 miles away from where I'm, where I'm sitting right now? And definitely, it could have been doing that for sure. Uh-oh, sounds like you got a dog calling in the background.
Yeah, he's a 140-pound Great Dane.
Oh, one of those that tell you I want to sit on a couch and everybody moves.
One of those ones sit on you and squish you.
I got you, brother. I got you. But yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I appreciate you calling in. As usual, you always have some fascinating stories. I appreciate it.
I got plenty of them. That's just a short.
Well,
take it easy.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, brother.
Well, I mean, if you need somebody on, I'm always here.
Yeah, I got your number, and I'll give you a call if I need you, or you can call in next time. I've had a couple of people already call behind you, so
bet that. Take it easy.
Appreciate it. All right, Mike Owens, I think he's from Texas, giving us a 10-year, while he was 10, I think he's in his 40s maybe, about a Bigfoot encounter with a female Sasquatch. Interesting. So, 931-994-6917, had a couple of callers while I was on the line with Mike. Holy cow, what are we doing here? Okay, so we are looking at the Vault of Nightmares in Lakea's backyard, kind of being voyeurs in the backyard, seeing what's going on. I think I saw maybe a bug up there or a spider in the top left-hand corner. Apparently they grew. Excuse me. Choked on that one laugh. Apparently, they've got spiders as big as your hand down there in Mississippi. But I've got an email, which I'm going to pop the email photographs up on this here screen here in just a second. Got to get this up. Let me go over here. Get off of the Vault of Nightmares backyard for just a second. And Lakea sent me an email with a couple of screenshots from that same camera. Give me just a second. And I'll pop. Well, crap. I didn't need to be all the way up that way. All right, here we go. Let's see if this will pop on. This should be instant. Yeah, there we go. This is from Lakea herself in the chat there. What is that? Is that like a... It sort of looks like a E.T. from the movie. E.T. Is that what I'm looking at? Sounds like I've got a dog barking in my backyard. Now, what's happening in my neighborhood here lately? Last couple days ago, wake up to sirens and squads and all kinds of crazy crap with... I thought somebody was washing a car, and I was like, that's strange. It's 30 freaking degrees outside, and somebody's washing a car at 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, it turned out my next-door neighbor, his house burned down. The one I've been talking about that was so good to me. And believe it or not, folks, I will tell you without a doubt, this guy, even with his house burnt down, and I didn't expect this, he comes and takes off my trash this morning. Oh, God bless him, Tom. I appreciate you, and I'm going to say a lot of prayers. And I know that he's got his insurance for his house, so I don't see any way that he won't rebuild and move something back there. But holy cow. If you could say a quick prayer, if you're so inclined, for Tom, my next door neighbor, and get things in order as quick as possible. But that's kind of hard to, this time of year, any kind of detrimental stuff. The lighting block picture was crazy on DW's show yesterday. I've got those, he sent me a couple of pictures of, I think I saw this on live feed, but right there, that circle. And give me just a second. Let me pop this off. Delete this. Get this off my screen real quick. There we go. Yep, get that off. And get the second picture up here. I think this is the uncircled picture. Pop this on here. There you go. Got this. And we'll scale this up to show, transform, and fit to stretch the screen. There you go. That is the unedited, uncircled. But there you go. Not exactly sure if I see the same thing there, but maybe right there, directly in the middle, I would assume. You see anything, folks? The other picture I sent is any quite so pixelated. Aren't. Okay. Well, I showed both pictures. Let's see. I don't see that alien-looking figure that I saw. Well, maybe I do. Maybe we're right there, I think. I don't know. Sometimes I can see this stuff and sometimes I can't. Miss T and I have had some interesting arguments about stuff she sees on my camera, and I'm like, I don't see it. Well, it's right there. It's right there, and you're freaking right there under your nose, and you can't see it. Nope, I can't see it. And then I'll look and scroll back and look, and like, wait a minute, I do see something. Well, I told you, it's there. So, I think I can see it sometimes and I can't see it sometimes, but you let me know what you see. And if you listen or see this show after the fact and you see something, leave a comment in the description below. But this is hot off the press from Lakea, Vault of Nightmares backyard, and this is a screenshot. Right here, right there. I think Lakea is saying is alien, maybe? But we'll see. Now, here's something for you. What do you think about aliens? Can they come in locked environments? So you got your house all locked up and alarmed and all that kind of stuff, and they show up and right there in front of you. So anyway, I like this old truck. I just love these old international trucks. Even though this looks like a farm find for sure, I love those old trucks like that. So, and hold on just a second. Let's change the scenery here. Oh, I found something that, well, let's see, alien landing. Let's go for alien land. No, not that one. Here we go. Let's go for this one. Give a little ambiance since we were looking at aliens and just had a 10-year-old's adult recall of a Bigfoot female Sasquatch. Azura says, my dad was into those older trucks, and they don't make trucks like that anymore. It's all plastic and aluminum and airbags. And God forbid you got something that doesn't have a computer chip in it. Way to go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon, for sure. And I did see a report today that thanks to Brandon, we are never going to see in the next reasonable amount of time cheap meat for food. Just to put that out there. Another way to go, Brandon moment. I think gas prices keep going up and up and up and up and up and up and up until you're like, well, do I pay the car payment or do I pay the gas bill for the car? I don't know. It's just weird stuff I think about, see on the news every freaking day. Aaron Billings says, yes, they are interdimensional, these things. Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons when you hear me pray, I usually include anybody that's interdimensional. I rebuke in the name of Jesus Christ. And just one of those things. Do I believe that my house has been invaded by something like that? Yep, absolutely. Some crazy stuff has happened in my house for sure. Michelle Burns, pareidolia, not sure on the spelling. Well, pareidolia, you can look at any photograph and say, hey, that's pareidolia. For sure. No doubt about it. It's interpretation from the perspective of the person that's seeing the photograph or the evidence or whatever's going on. Let's go back to the backyard of Lakea. Of course, this is Unscreened Open Lines, the number one open lines show of the night, I hope. But you're not going to have anybody screening you. The screener is going to be me live on the air. And if you call 931-994-6917, you are going to get through to me right now. And as soon as you hear me, hey, you got an unscreened caller? What's your name and where you're from? And that is about as far as I go through screening, other than the screening process of letting you talk and telling us your true story or your comment of the day. But, yeah, what's going on over here? Ooh, this sucker right there. What is this right here? Centered in on it. Maybe that's just pareidolia too, but don't know. All kinds of crazy, squatchy looking stuff back there here lately. Eyeballs and lights that shouldn't be there in the middle of the night. You kind of wonder, well, there's nothing behind that but more trees and sky. Yeah, interpretation is open, can't make you not see anything or make me see something. There's a lot of stuff I kind of look at and go, what is that? Is there something there? I don't know, but this is Vault 1, the Dogman Cam's video live feed on November 17th, 8:31 p.m. Wednesday. And that's Central Time, folks. Hey, Gene, what's going on, brother? See you. Thank you for popping in. Scotty, what's going on? And Michelle Smith, appreciate it. And if you would like, just hit a thumbs up. That helps out the show quite a bit. Gets us more in the algorithmic gods of YouTube and Google to say, hey, there's something going on over there. We got 61 likes and 74 currently viewing. So hit those thumbs up or hit those thumbs down. But I think YouTube doesn't like the thumbs down because there's a lot that's been used more so here lately with Let's Go Brandon. Folks. But holy cow. Let's see. Aaron Billings. Really? Seriously? Let's see. All right, we got another unscreened caller, but I think I know who this unscreened caller is. I've seen the number before. But welcome aboard, Connor Flynn, Bigfoot Anonymous. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? I just got off an interview with Casual Conversations with G and A, and they're both fans of you, and I had to mention you on there, so I had to live up to my promise. I was going to call you in and finish off my awesome day. Today I started with a premiere with Outcast Paranormal with our Myakka Skunk Ape expedition.
I saw that. I saw that.
And then did you see my Gypsy Road interview?
I did not. I have not. Unfortunately, I did not catch Gypsy Road. I haven't caught him in the last few live feeds, unfortunately. But I'll definitely go look at it.
It was awesome. We were with Amber's Paraworld, and she is a clairvoyant person that I first linked up with on Steve Stockton's channel. So she's already got some special abilities if she's crossing paths with Gemma and Steve and Laura from Midnight in the Mountains. But man, Amber is so awesome. She has led me to some crazy, pretty much connections. She has saw my Uncle Joe behind me in my footage and in live interviews. And that has brought me a little bit closer to answers I've been searching for. And then also seeing her just going after paranormal, but then finding the Woodman and Faye. It also just clarifies for me that, my search for the Sasquatch, of course, leads me to paranormal realms and other ley lines convergences. So it really just helps, add more correlations and data into my research when someone that's not even affiliated with Sasquatch is finding structures and also connections in the metaphysical realm and telepathy. So it's really cool to spread my wings and communicate with these people. And then, in real life was this last weekend, the Myakka State Park, and then the Crowley Museum Skunk Ape expedition with Stacy Brown. And dude, that was so awesome. And I just missed you on your Saturday show. You probably saw my number call you like 4 minutes after, because we were around the campfire. And I was like, Jason Truth's probably still on. And it was late. And you went on for 3 hours and 31 minutes or something. So, I literally just missed you, but I was gonna go around the campfire and have everybody, take the phone.
Awesome.
It would have been, but. No, it's not on you. It was on me, but it was on the good times around the fire. So it was one with the marshmallow. So no biggie. There are many more campouts, and it will time up in the future. It was so remarkable of a time.
Oh yeah. So a quick question: while you're out on these investigations around that campfire, or whenever you go out in the woods at night, have you run into any kind of spirits?
Spears?
Spirits,
Oh, spirits. Yes. I thought for some reason I thought spears, like Spearfinger, the Cherokee legend. I was like, I've probably encountered some, but none have pierced me. But yes, definitely spirits, because we have communicated with them using the Estes method through a broken radio that you put your finger on the antenna, and then you are the conduit. And the last 3 expeditions caught on camera, I have had the best luck communicating with these that after, about a few minutes of asking questions as a group, they usually say, Connor, take it from here. Because I am pretty good at talking to myself. So if I have an open-ended conversation with multiple spirits at the same time, man, you can get me going. I like asking, what month did they die in? Do they prefer tobacco, alcohol, or anything else? Could you say a cuss word? And I have to give props to Outcast Paranormal, because that's, Stacy Brown, James Bros, Josh Watkins. RPG from Expedition Bigfoot, Finding Bigfoot. They have really taken my game to the next level in the swamp, and I appreciate them for inspiring me to step farther outside of my box, because sometimes, you know, I feel like I intimidate people and kind of scare them away with my madness, but I think that's the only way to kind of get closer to these answers. And, you know, these creatures can clearly deal with most what humans can offer. So I don't think any of my crazy antics are going to really intimidate any of these creatures, but they're definitely going to raise the curiosity of these beasts. But yes, I have encountered spirits and heard them directly, their voices, but then also internally I have felt, you know, spirit guides and also just guides of electricity and energy that lead me to the forest and through life. And I really let instincts in my gut chase me through the day. And I say it many times, I've broken down my walls of existence, and I've given up on society, and I'm on the outside of a lot of circles, and my family, of course, misinterprets me every single day. But I feel like I'm getting a little closer to the truth, and I have accepted the consequences of how that's going to hold me back, but I've also found the needs in abundance of who I need to be and the conversation I need to have and the people I need to meet. So I just got to keep remaining myself. And it's definitely a balance through this force field. But every day when you know that they're, you know, hiding things from us and there's secrets to our ancestors, I'm so empowered. And it doesn't take much for me to get up in the morning. Like, I love hot cocoa and, you know, a cold glass of water on a hot day. So whatever's really necessary to push me, I could find it very easily. And I love writing and sharing my information and really just inspiring people to be themselves and try to dive deeper into the places we come from too, because all those old places that we drive by on our stupid commute to work, they have history, they have stories, and sometimes we just have to pull over and appreciate them sometimes. And I'm just trying to encourage people to do that as much as I can.
Well, I see Flat Rock in the chat there. I hear that you are going to go up and see him soon.
Yes, I am. This weekend, he actually just had a researcher there, and the researcher was aiming for 10 things and left with all 10 on the checklist gone, other than a daylight sighting. That was the only thing that they didn't have encounter, but they heard vocalizations, they saw structures, footprints, and of course some nighttime encounters. But I just can't wait to go out there with my buddy Tristan from Hidden Relief. And then I also met Tyler Howell from Pensacola area. And what's really funny is earlier this year, he recorded a Sasquatch on Eglin Air Force Base. Well, it made history, or it made, you know, the news and history. And I called him actually because it said where he worked. It was some bar, some restaurant. So I called him, and I honestly don't remember if I got a hold of him or not, but I do remember calling him. And then sure enough, he was at the expedition, and he was a lone wolf. He actually flew there. And I was like, bro, you could have just rode with us. What are you doing? And we ended up becoming really good friends. He took us to his hotel after, and then showed us a bunch of footage. And he recorded a Sasquatch and in multiple tree breaks. And I've got to share the footage with a couple people. And it was truly remarkable. We're searching for these mythical beasts, and then we meet really good friends. And met Marie. Well, I didn't meet Marie, but I saw Marie Dumont again, and it was so crazy because she just got announced to be a speaker for the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference, and I'm just so happy for her, and I'm part of her Mid-Florida research team, and being out there, she's a speaker of the forest. She's a French-Canadian researcher that is definitely beautiful to look at, but even more remarkable inside her mind. And I think that these creatures and the fae and the forest itself speak to her. So just spending time with her and her team, like Desiree, and she's close with Tim T. It's just awesome when you make, you know, all these spider webs and the red yarn around our anklets. They all combine, and it's just truly remarkable. And then another special person I met was Phyllis. She's a PhD. She's a clairvoyant, and she actually had a CE4. She summoned a UFO, and more than 2 groups, more than 8 people saw a red intelligent light through Myakka. And Myakka has a history of its own. That's what brought us there. One was killed in 1994. Donnie Miller actually did an encounter interview on his story with a hunter that had to put one down after it tried killing him. Crazy stuff. It's on Standing Goats Rescue on his YouTube channel. Remarkable. But then there's also the Myakka Skunk Ape photos, the 2 photos that were taken of the Gugway-looking creature. This thing looks a little different than Patty, the Bluff Creek creature, of course. Patty looks more human-like. This thing does look like an ape, like a skunk ape. A lot of the footprints, they have 4 toes, 4 fingers. So I think this thing is a little bit different. It has a little bit of a snout, sharp teeth, a little weird. But the 2 photos are remarkable. And then there's the limping Bigfoot story. It's remarkable because a lot of people have talked about it and reported sightings of a limping Bigfoot over the past 2 decades. So I was, eyes wide open out there. Didn't have any grade A, class 1 sightings, but definitely heard strange sounds pretty much the whole time while hiking and when we were in the tent. It sounded like gibbon monkeys were yelling to each other. And Florida does have rhesus monkeys, so it is a possibility there are monkeys, but I think they might have been the raven mockers or some of these other strange elementals in the forest. But we got some thermal hits. I reshared them on my Instagram today. 3 different shots of something large up in a tree, watching other things on the ground. So we don't know if it was a panther or a bear maybe, but it was something large up in a tree, and we got thermal images of it from a $4,500 camera, a little bit out of my price range, but I was holding that with gracefulness. But it's awesome to share my craziness and my fun after midnight knowledge with these people. And I don't hold back, around the campfire. And it's awesome doing calls and tree knocks and jumping off the trail and really showing people what makes me me. And it's so remarkable. So I encourage everybody to go to the expos and the conferences and the expeditions, even if you're the only one there. There was one, Marty and Matt. It was a mom and a son. They were camping together. They were recording all the audio and everything, and it's truly remarkable. And they were fans of Gypsy Road. Like, I met Gypsy Road fans in real life, and like that was truly special. Yeah, it was so cool, and they know all about Bigfoot Odyssey and saw the 168, and it was really cool just to be surrounded by insiders in the Bigfoot world. And then Stacy did an incredible job hosting. He was more than caring for everybody. He gets a little bit of a reputation for being a wild guy. Like, oh my God, wow, Stacy Brown. Dude, he's an awesome guy. He always looks out for everybody, makes sure they're safe, makes sure they're eating good, make sure they're taken care of. It was awesome. He put us in some situations that we had skunk ape encounters, that we had spirituals talking to us. It's remarkable. And to have access to the Crawley Museum, Dixie was amazing. It's an awesome reserve and preserve, and there's live horses and a bunch of other animals, farm animals like pigs and dogs and a bunch of wild, fun stuff. So if anybody's in Central Florida, of course, check it out. And if you have the money like that, donate it to it, please, because the boardwalk is really beat up. And if you ever want to see the place in the limelight, Finding Bigfoot was filmed there too. So all you filming location buffs like me and movie nerds, like it's a remarkable place. And Myakka just has so many mysteries and so much history, and it was so remarkable. And Squatch Van was another guy. He built a van just to hunt down the skunk ape. He was there. And Tyler Howell Outdoors, the guy I was talking about earlier. Once I get off the call with you, I'm gonna bombard him and tell him, because I said, hey, I got some live shows that I know you would love to be on and tell your story. So I'm gonna work my magic of the army recruiter, but it's the chasing the truth army, and it's not necessarily Sean G chasing the truth. I just got people chasing the truth out there, and people I recruit and people I hopefully inspire. They're like, wow, Connor's energetic. We'll just run behind his trail.
How in the world do you keep like this energy straight up 24/7, or all of a sudden you get tired and boom, you're like a little kid and you're asleep automatically, or what's going on?
I definitely am pretty wound up. Like Squatching Cowboy and Mogollon Monster will say that like it's not the exact same wound up in real life as it is on this. Like right now I'm like pacing around my house, like looking at cool pictures, loving it, petting my cats when I pass them. Like, I probably walked like 3 miles in 14 minutes I've been on. That's at least 1.5 miles at my pace and my stride, you know. But in real life, I definitely got the motor running. But you know, I'm very polite and let people have their piece. But I try to, you know, encourage people to dive into the strange as much as I can. And I'm constantly quoting movies and rambling off sports facts and making connections off the top of my head and coming to conclusions live and direct. So yes, I stay like this 100%. But you know, when I don't have the microphone, I definitely calm down a little bit, but I am still thinking about this stuff nonstop because the Wookiees are out there, the Puckwudgies are out there, all these movies are giving us predictive programming. You know, this world is the conspiracy. So my time is to shine now. I've been posting the memes saying like, oh, you guys are calling me a conspiracy theory. Now all of them ran out, you know, or just saying, was I a conspiracy theorist? Like, pretty much, I'm a fortune teller at this point. There used to be a fortune teller by my mom's work back in the day. I wish I could compare and contrast, you know, my ramblings with her readings. But I definitely love all the people out there who are clairvoyant and try to bring us closer to the other side. And I think all of us definitely have that ability, but a lot of us have blockers and distractions. So we have to, you know, try to purify and try to decalcify our pineal gland and just try to break free and, you know, try to be ourselves, you know, the same one we were when we were growing up, full of wonder and reading Pete's Dragon and Jack the Giant Slayer and, you know, keeping our teeth under our pillow for the Tooth Fairy. Like, we were always into the Fae, guys. We spell words and we write in cursive. We are witches ourselves. Hopefully Salem just doesn't turn into America. We really have to stand up for one another. And remember just to love one another no matter what differences we have, because the establishment will try to divide and conquer, but there's nothing more stronger than like-minded people getting together. And even if you don't agree with everything, we still represent peace and love, and, you know, we're made in the Creator's image, and we're just energy, baby. So just keep rolling with it. And I just want to try to attract and magnetize all the positive energy out there and try to keep people aware and safe of the dark energy. Of course, we can't stop the water from falling, but we can just be aware, you know, put the bowl down, feed the cats.
Holy cow. Man, you read off a script, don't you? Or you just,
I type this up every morning. just to prove it out. I do type 200 to 400 words every morning though from my books, and just try to use that morning energy, because when you wake up, before you give in to the world, try to just be yourself, even if it's just for a few moments, you know, before you just give in to your priorities and all the petty world. Just try to keep that wonder inside you and try to remember your dreams and maybe write it down in a dream journal and just stay away from the electronics just for a second, you know. And I just encourage everybody to share love. It really just pours out of me, and sometimes it's stuttery and I mumbo jumbo, but it's just me. It's a reflection of me, my beliefs, my data, and everybody that's made an impact on me. And that's what I just try to roll with. And then I have a lot of fun with it too. Of course, like the Where of the Void Cat. Yeah, don't watch a DVD with me. It might be the last movie you ever watch.
Oh wow! I did watch that Void Cat. That was a interesting movie. I got a couple of chuckles out of that, and just watching you, I was like, man, okay, is he spaced out or is he buzzed or what when he did this role?
Oh yeah, I stay spaced out. I stay buzzed. I also stay in that natural buzz as well, because I know that we hold that light inside of us and it can't be contaminated. It can't be contained. We have a soul, and that will always just stay flame, man. And shout out to Spaced Out Radio. Dave Scott actually booked me today. So I'm starting 2022 off right after midnight with Dave Scott. So anybody that is a Spaced Out Radio fan, here with the Dark Waters fam and Chasing the Truth family, I will definitely see you guys in the future, and I'm really looking forward to it. And Gemma Jade is actually starting a show of her own on Spaced Out Radio, and she does oracle readings on Wednesdays as well.
That's cool.
So, man, it's just crazy seeing the red yarn, man, the red yarn. It's been tied around our ankles, and all of our been connected. If you ever interact with someone, that means it's been planned out from long before. But we're not stuck in fate. We can control our destiny. We have that power, and it's a beautiful thing. But sometimes it gets us into trouble, but it puts us into places we need to be. And sometimes our hardest lessons just get us ready for the brightest mornings. It's remarkable to be alive, and I feel like my path has been paved so many times before, and I'm just really looking forward to next year as well, just because I'm speaking at a Florida Bigfoot conference, not the great Florida Bigfoot conference, but another one in Port Charlotte. And I'm also speaking at a metaphysical club in Panama City. So it's really cool to be IRL in real life, because it's awesome the virtual, but once you bring it to real life and you get to meet people that you've conversed with and became friends with and shared bonds and information and weird vulnerabilities and insecurities, once you can, camp with them or just share a dinner with them, it really takes you to the next level. And like I said, when I was in Ohio, I thought I was me. I thought I was deep. I thought I was myself. I doubled down. I tripled down. I became so much more in depth with myself once I was living out of my car, homeless, hungry, knocking on doors, and also staying with people that, couch surfing, staying with people that really held my life in their hands, and you had to be trustworthy to this world. And I always try to just remain good and share that karma with myself. And I try to check my friends when they're acting up, and I want them to check me when I'm acting a fool as well. So we just got to keep each other justified and also push things forward. And I definitely encourage people to dive after the truth and do not be scared to share your encounters, even if it's nasty coming out. If you're stuttering and messing up words, it doesn't make sense. Who cares? It's your story. It's your encounter. And this world is so much stranger than the normal language even has alphabet for. So just do your best, and it will provide clarity for somebody. So all my rambling and jambling, I really just hope I can inspire people to get out and be themselves and not be scared of the establishment, and to be that power that can, just brighten somebody's day or just make somebody's morning. And also be the one to take the fall. I'm not talking about crimes or anything, but don't be scared to look stupid. Don't be scared to lose. I've lost so many times. I've swung and missed so many times. Professional baseball players, they make billions of dollars for batting 283. They bat 100 times and they get out, 77 times. They make the big bucks in those 23. Like, just make the most of what you do got, guys. I know, the sports references are a little off wall, but hey, LeBron broke the Cleveland curse, but I think he sacrificed Kobe Bryant, and Kobe died at the what hospital? Oh my gosh, I can't say it online, or we'll be taken offline. Sean Z, I appreciate it always. I'm looking forward to the future, and if we ever have any podcast teams like that, we can intercept those into the movie. I definitely want to have you and of course Gypsy Road as maybe podcasters, so you guys can be the weird podcaster talking about the beast, on the news station. It would be really cool. And I just can't. I want to be the glue in this community. I want to be everybody's secretary. So send me your 10%, everybody.
There you go. Can you imagine if once Connor actually has a face-to-face, I can reach out and slap a Bigfoot in the face, what his energy level will be after that? Holy cow.
I just hope I'm still able to talk after it. And I've had a lot of strange encounters on the force, but I definitely walk with positivity, and I feel like that has kept me safe. But Damien, my good buddy, and Long Island Bigfoot and TNT, they have been showing me pictures of things being a lot closer than I gave them credit for in the forest. So, guys, when you're out there, just walk with the light. Always tell people where you're going. Do your research on Steve Stockton missing people, David Police missing people, and just hunting and fishing survival tactics. I love all you guys. I'm going to be in the chat. I'm definitely going to try to send some people your way. It's been an awesome, busy day. I can't wait to hike tomorrow. I'm going to try to take my mom to Torreya, but if she's not down, then I'm going to Ecofana Creek, baby, all by myself. And I really love hiking by myself and pushing the boundaries. And even when I'm filming with my GoPro, I feel like there's a sense of protection, like someone's with me. But it's funny. You still got to take the SD card out and transfer the file. So I'm not really with anybody out there. It's just me and my camera, my GoPro. But for some reason, you guys all in the community, you guys are with me when I'm out there, and that's not no cliche crap. That's you guys making me feel better when I'm out there with Spearfinger and Dogman. I'm like, hey, they're with me somehow, you know, through the SD card. But
well, I hope you don't see
appreciate it.
Spearfinger.
Beware the Void Cat. Oh, I hope not either. And Rick from Forest of Monsters, he's going after Spearfinger. He's been crying about finding a girlfriend. I've been telling him, you know, be careful what you wish for, homie. I've been joking around about the Mobile Wolf Woman. So if something big bites me in my neck, I got what I was asking for. So, you know, beware of hugging Molly as well. Do not be scared after dark in Abbeville, guys. Take it easy. I love all you guys. Flat Rock Booger, BF Bud, all my homies. Good to see you guys. Oh, man, I just love Wednesdays and Saturdays. Take it easy. Sean G, Miss T, keep chasing the truth and keep those security cams rolling. I love what you guys are doing. Dogman cams and Dark Waters, keep it up. I'm actually hoping to link up with Dark Waters here soon and set up a camera either by the Native American site that he had that skinwalker rise from 7 feet up to 30 feet, or maybe on my mom's property where sadly my cat got killed and tore apart, and she's been finding some strange footprints as well. But I'm really happy about the future. Keep your loved ones close, guys. You know, communicate. Just communicate. Communication is key, and that'll take you farther than anything. And we're all working to be the best we can, and every day is a struggle. And just remember, there's people out there just like you, and just don't be scared to communicate. That's all I can say, man, because communication allows for things to happen. And be yourself, guys. Be yourself. Keep chasing the truth. Sean G, talk to you soon, brother. Peace out.
See you, bud. I don't think there is enough caffeine in the world that I could even come halfway up that scale of energy that Connor Flynn just extrudes. You're like, holy cow. All right. Well, I apologize that I do not have that level of energy that Connor Flynn does, but I suspect, you know, it just hit my mind. If he ever does come face to face with a Squatch or a Spearfinger or whatever else he's chasing around, he may develop a stutter. I don't know. How could you add to that energy level once you get to that pinnacle of, I just saw something right in front of me. I had a 3-foot smack you in the face, face-to-face encounter with whatever. I don't know. But thank you again, Connor Flynn, Bigfoot Anonymous. He is across several platforms from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook. I even think he's on Twitter. I believe he's on Twitter. I've seen him tag me on Twitter, I believe. But anyway, holy cow. But yeah. Now, folks, be kind to anybody that calls in. You know, these are unscreened calls. I didn't ask Connor to call, which I'm grateful that he called. I always enjoy hearing that fellow, but I kind of wonder, well, how in the hell did I even come close to that energy level? Trying to figure out what to name the energy drink after him. What would be a good energy drink name that would be close to, you know, kind of capture the energy level of Bigfoot Anonymous? I don't know. But this is Unscreened, open lines for your truthful tales of whatever you've encountered or endured, or I just saw this. 931-994-6917. 931-994-6917. You can text that number as well. Well, we're looking at, have been looking at while we're talking. Well, is that still going? Hold on just a second. Every once in a while, if I get to, yeah, I ain't going yet. That's not live feed, but it's about ready to pop up live here in just, there you go. It's live now. Unfortunately, if I get one or two screens on top of the Rio link screen, it kind of stops the daggone thing. But there you go. It's back live again. If you see anything in that live feed from Vault 1 camera of Dogman Cams, just give me a shout out on the YouTube or leave a comment if you see this after the fact. comment and subscribe and like. And if you need to or like to, or, throw a couple of pennies my way, I've got a couple of I got a PayPal account and a Cash App account that you can see in the description. I think they've been dropping that here lately. I would love to say I can do this for free, and I wish I could, but I can't, unfortunately. It takes money to get the subscriptions and all this other stuff for the Skype number that you use, the 931-994-6917. That's not free. I have that on a monthly basis. The links to the internet, that's not free. And just to let you know. But I appreciate it. Just hit those thumbs up, subscribe. Let other people know that is free, that this show is live and on air. Next Saturday, I'm going to have Al, the Shawnee, that I think he's ostracized himself from the Shawnee community, but he has had a shaman uncle that turned into a dog while he got mad at his late father. And he's going to be back on my show, and he's going to give a few more stories and actually take live calls. Last show I did about a month ago with him, he didn't take any live calls, but he's going to take live calls this Saturday on the Dark Waters YouTube channel, Dark Waters Paranormal Radio app, and over on the Fringe.fm. I'm live over there on Saturday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time. And I believe that pretty much gives the look-see. Oh, BigFoot Anonymous just dropped his link to his YouTube channel. Definitely go over there. He's got some interesting content. When he goes out and about, he takes his GoPro camera. Who knows what he's going to capture? He's had several events where some people caught some after-the-fact stuff happening on his GoPro footage. And it's interesting, just to say the least. At least he's doing it and putting it out, just like this Dogman Cam's stuff that we've got going on here in the background. Let me see if I can get the audio here. Let me turn the audio up so you can hear it. All right, live feed audio. Hopefully that will. Wait a minute. Wait. Let me go over here. I got the audio turned off on the that link there. Or do I? What the heck's going on here, Mary? Well, don't know what's going on. The Rio link is live on my end, but apparently, let's see. Let me see what's going on here. Well, I guess if it was live streaming, you might be able to hear it. Well, it's live streaming, but I don't see it popping up on my end. Well, that kind of sucks. Well, anyway, I've got to... Don't know if I need to restart that or whatever, but the audio is out. I apologize, folks, if there's a scream or a call or whatever, or somebody gets in front of that camera and makes a noise. I don't have it available. Don't ask me why, I don't know. Other than reasons that I can't control. It's there. That's all I can tell you. That sucker, I've had it on, and then all of a sudden it turns on in the night, and I'm like, why is there a cricket in my room? And then it turns out that, hey, my computer's still on, and the Rio link to the Backyard of Lakea and the Vault of Nightmares is on. And like, oh, I guess I do need to turn that off. But there you go. Anyway, how you guys doing? It's been doing that all day that it won't, well, maybe the audio's just not working for whatever reason. Could be that. I don't know. Hard to tell. When you get into this digital location stuff with remote cams like this, hell, you couldn't do this a decade ago. I don't think. This technology is where it was. Could you remote it in to a long-lost video camera somewhere a decade ago? Maybe, but not so readily where you could do it from my vantage point, I guess. But this is, as you well know, Unscreened Open Lines. If you got a supernatural cryptid UFO encounter, you've had an encounter with a ghost, I'd love to hear it. Love to hear that tale. We've heard from Wes Vick, Dogman Cams and his own little channel. He's going to have the third installment of Werewolf Hunter on his channel. And then we had Mike Owens, which he's called in several times, told us all kinds of crazy stories from a dogman. Not today. The dogman tried to overturn his camper, or almost did. And then he had his own... what the hell was that? Oh, that's a bug. Sorry, I was looking at the dogman cams. I was like, what is that? Oh, it was a bug flying around. All right. That's a big-ass bug you got back there flying around in your backyard vault. But are you guys going to be on the later? Vault of Nightmare is going to be on later. So anyway, what I could do is restart. Nah, let's just leave this thing going. I'll just leave that going in the background. Let's see. Let's pull up the chat so I can see what's going on here. Pop the chat up. Yeah, I agree with you, Lisa Ray. Be respectful of other opinions. You may not agree with the opinions. It may be very truthful to them. You may not agree with them if they call in, you know, or if they do so on live in the chat there. You know, people are not going to see eye to eye on everything. And just like that, folks, you just got to make sure that you may, you know, don't criticize. You can, you know, criticize respectively, but, you know, be respectful when you do it. And alternative opinions is welcome at any given point. That's why I call it chasing the truth, not I'm spoon feeding you truth. Hell, I don't know what's true most of the time. But my opinion does change. And I think Bigfoot Anonymous Connor Flynn is a flat earther or leans to that degree. I'm open to flat earthers, but you have not won me over in the argument. I still think that this is not a flat earth we're living on. Is it a globe? Maybe if it's shaped like a prune. Sort of. Shriveled up prune in some iteration of that. But that's my opinion. But I don't believe it's a flat earth. But that's just me. I have not been won over on that thing. But if you are a flat earther, I'd love to hear from you, 931-994-6917. Or if you've seen anything on this Dogman cam that I'm currently streaming live from the back of Vault of Nightmares off the Vault 1 cam. I think we're about ready to add some more cameras as the project keeps growing. But hold on just a second. Well, let's see. This thing popped up in front of me hey, it's time to turn your feed off if it's a battery-powered camera, but I think this is hooked up directly to the outlet of the Vault of Nightmares. Team Vault down there. Let's see. Well, Kaya's backyard, and there's definitely some weird stuff out there. You could say that and then some. You could say that and then some. I got some emails with what you guys been catching in the background there. I think you got a few emails. One directly from Dark Waters. Let's see. Hold on just a second. Let me pop that up here. It may be an older one. I think he's already done a video on it, but oh, wait just a second. Got a unscreened caller on the line. Unscreened caller, give me just a second and get you live on the air. And you are live on the air. What's your name and where are you from?
This is Jack. Go by James Fakey, I guess, in the chat.
Hey, Jack, what's going on?
Well, not too much. I just figured I'd call and tell you a ghost story my dad told me after I got older.
Fantastic.
That happened when I was a baby. My grandma's cousin I live in Indiana, northwest Indiana, and she lived in Illinois, my grandma's cousin. And she was supposed to stop and see my sister when she was born in 1978. And they kept making plans, I guess, to do it, and then it never happened. And then I was born 2 years later in 1980, and they finally said, well, since we haven't made it, we'll definitely make it out there to see both of us finally for the first time. And they were, believe it or not, they were in a car accident where she and her husband were killed, and I never knew them on the way, and it never happened. And my father told me about 2 weeks after that happened, he was up late one night and it looked like somebody turned a flashlight in the house, and we were sleeping, and I was just, I guess, maybe like 3-4 months old. And he told me his instinct was to get up and like grab a gun because he thought somebody broke in or was sneaking around in the house. And when he went to get up out of bed because he was watching TV and everybody else was sleeping, he couldn't move. He said that it was like somebody was holding him down or like kind of had him pinned to where he couldn't even like budge or anything. And she came in the room and told him not to worry, that it was her, and he was fine, that she wasn't like a threat to anything or anybody. She just wanted to finally see us. And basically the light went back after he seen her into where we were staying at in our rooms. And that was his only ghost story. Is only like, I guess, supernatural story that he's ever had or whatever. But the only time he ever said he's seen a ghost was when that happened. But yeah, like I said, I didn't get to see it. I've never seen a ghost personally myself, but
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a short story, but yeah, it was just the one he told me later on after I got older and I was a teenager.
Yeah, I have had instances where, hey, I wanted to tell you this story for many years. You know, I can remember my dad sitting us back in the car when I was kids with child age with my brother and sister after we lived in this trailer court. It was nestled between two halves of a rather large cemetery, saying, hey, I saw this ghost. And I can remember my dad admonishing me when I was a little kid, saying, hey, seen something walking through the back or through the hallway. Be quiet, Sean, and go to sleep. Nothing's going to bother you. And then that son of a gun, you know, after we moved out, he said, I wasn't going to tell you this kids until we moved out of there, but I saw this one night. And I do recall the instance where he yelled one night saying, who the hell are you? As this ghost walks through the hallway, the main hallway, into his bedroom and walks through the back wall outside. And I remember him leaving the house, and he followed this ghost orb from trailer to trailer, neighbor to neighbor, until he lost sight of it. And as he was telling,
it was an orb.
Well, it was an orb outside the trailer. He said that he saw it go through each trailer, and he saw a light, eerie light going through, like he was walking through our house or our trailer at the time. But when he told us that in the back of that green Nova, if I remember correctly, I was about ready to, and I was like, you son of a gun. You told me. I was about ready to choke him out. yeah, I was about ready to choke him out.
But I guess as a father, I guess that's kind of the right thing to do, even though you're not being truthful at the time, to not scare you guys anymore.
Well, I guess so, if you look at it from that point of view. But yeah.
Was this real close to the time? Because didn't you say that you seen arms coming in through the window there, or was that a different?
Oh, that was the same trailer, same time frame. Same time frame.
Okay.
But let me
How
think.
How long in between that was that from him seeing the light going in between and you seeing the arms on his and you said it had his watch on?
This was back in the 70s, so it's been a hot minute. So since this happened.
I'm just saying, when you seen it had his watch, correct?
It had he had old one of these red digital timer Timex that you pushed aside, and a red digital time would pop up, and it was a gold band.
Okay,
and I remember
I was
seeing
picturing the Indiglo ones.
Yeah, it's the one that you just touch the side, and comes up a digital time, whatever it was, if I remember correctly. But it was a Timex. And
I just wanted to ask you because I didn't know if that was like the same night or similar.
No,
like
it wasn't the same. It was the same time frame, but I don't recall it. I don't recall what come first, that ghost walking through the trailer that my dad chased outside, or if the dream. I thought it might have been a dream, but I was pretty sick at the time, if I recall. It could have been a sick dream. One of those was too sick and then, have a delirium dream or whatever. It could have been that. It could have been absolutely true. But like I said, I was probably about 5 or 6 when all this occurred. So, I was a little tight back then. I was a little Sean.
Right, but you're definitely old enough to remember.
Yeah. But yeah, that I'll have to. I haven't really thought about the timeline there. I'll have to sit back and think, and if I do, come up with a definitive answer, what comes first or what comes second, I'll say it on the air there, Jack. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I had another question too, if you got
Sure.
the time.
Okay.
I remember on one of the chats, I don't remember how far back the show was, saying that you were involved in some kind of dream research.
Dream research.
Study?
Well, when I was in the healthcare industry that I was a part of for almost 2 decades. I started as a respiratory therapist, and I kind of was introduced when I was in college, studying to be a respiratory therapist, to sleep medicine. I said, well, I'd like to do that someday, and I never really got into it until later on when I got into my career. And then I always, was interested in other people's dreams, prophetic dreams, you name it. I was right there in the front grand saying, okay, tell me a little bit more about your dream. And I got had opportunity to be in the sleep medicine, so I jumped at the opportunity, cross-trained over that
like
before.
Ambien, kind of like Lunesta type medication.
No, it's actually you go and study people sleeping under EEG conditions, very controlled conditions, see if they got sleep apnea or restless leg syndromes, 100 plus diagnoses you can get from a sleep study. So it takes about 40 minutes to hook up all the myriad of wires to these folks. I've had one done myself to me. It's interesting to have it done, but that's what got me into sleep. I was so interested in it. I always talked to anybody that had an interesting dream or dream life. There's some people out there that
I had a reoccurring one that happened quite often when I was younger about a wolf, not like a dog man or not even like a wolf standing up, but it was me waking up, which kind of looked like, now that I'm older, like a setting that would be like kind of out west, because there's like rocky mountainous area. And I'd wake up alone looking for my grandpa or my father, because I'm thinking, well, why am I camping by a fire out in the middle of nowhere by myself? And the first time I had it, I realized there was a wolf on this other side of this fire. And me being the kid that I am, I used to love climbing trees, even after I could run around and climb stuff. And I noticed there was pine, so I'd run to the pine trees, and this wolf would come right behind me, and it just seemed so real, like he'd almost bite my leg on the way up the tree, and I'd barely make a way out of his grass. And it wasn't like it would happen every night, but it would come every other month, and then sometimes it would only be a couple times a year. And it went on for maybe 3 years, the same dream, to where when I wake up, I'd be like, oh no. When, like, in my dream, I'd be like, oh no, not this. No, and that's what this is about to start again. And the wolf wouldn't even be sitting down or anything like it was the first time before it would chase me. It would be kind of already in a stance to grab me or whatever. And by the time I think I turned 7, I was so fed up, I guess, with the dream, that I decided to grab a log out of the fire and jump the fire and go towards the wolf. And it didn't try to attack or anything. It ran off, and I never had the dream again.
Wow.
Kind of just diminished, or never came. Was definitely glad that, because it was like, I guess, the only true nightmare I had until I seen this big owl or whatever. But I never really had like nightmares or like reoccurring dreams.
Well, there are so many papers out there that I've read about dreams, and I can honestly tell you there is no definitive science behind why we dream. If somebody comes up to you and I've got a perfect good theory, it's just a theory about why people dream. There are so many reasons why we dream that has been spoken of, written about. Now, if it's true to you, and that's probably a good reason why to say, yeah, I believe I've had this dream. Prophetic dreams, our ability to reach out and see in the future or in the past, or see ghosts or touch the ethereal, if you will. I believe that's about as better answer than any doctor or wannabe doctor theory out there, personally. But
right, because it's kind of hard to prove or
Yeah,
giving us information on something that's happening while you're sleeping, and there's no way to record.
Right. They're, they say
at least
they can.
That I know of, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they do have something, but.
Well, I was on the leading edge of what was possible in the theory, in the healthcare system with sleep recordings. The stuff that I was exposed to, we could not record dreams at that point in time. Now, that being said, there's a lot of black budget out there. Deep, dark crap.
Who knows how far the rabbit hole goes.
Yeah, is it possible? Maybe, but from what I know of, recording the EEG, the electrical encephalograph stuff, you could not, from one person to the next, every EEG was unlike. It was to the point where you could say, hey, that was a spindle, that was a K-complex, that was whatever, wave going across the screen. But did they look the same? No, it was like a fingerprint, more or less. Exactly. It was just like a fingerprint. It was unique to that person. You could, oh, wow, I think there's a spider on your camera, okay, out there. Looks like it. But, from my perspective of knowing what was possible, let's see, 6 years ago, actually. Yeah. Actually, today is the date that I had my car accident that took me, 7 days later, took my leg. But, that's just incidental. 6 years ago today. But that's I don't know. I kind of got off the subject. Sleep itself, EEG, being able to record, we could not even come close to that. Now, there's probably some science out there that you could, but I just don't know. I think the Elon Musk stuff where they're implanting these electrodes into your brain, which I will never do. Maybe. Right.
Definitely maybe volunteer for that.
Yeah, maybe these electrodes at the, these microfilaments on the atom level. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Possibility could be. It's hard to tell. But to my knowledge, I wouldn't think that we could leap that far in science that I was exposed to. I looked at all the electronics out there, all the digital formats and stuff. We were just barely getting into being able to digitally recreate an EEG on screen of a computer to the liking of people that actually read EEGs. These EEG doctors and pulmonologists and all these other people that would be out there to read these things. Used to, it was an old 1,000-pound, more or less just inkjet printer that printed out in real time, throwing ink all over the place on a piece of paper. That's what that was before.
Wow.
All right. Well, Jack, I've got another call, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Let me go ahead and answer this. I appreciate you calling in as usual. Call in when you got another great story, but I appreciate you.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, brother.
Have a good night.
Good night. Okay, unscreened caller, you are live on the air. What's your name and where you're from?
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air. What's your name and where you're from?
My name's Joseph, and I'm from Miami, Florida originally, now living in Texas.
Texas. Florida boy in Texas. How'd you wind up being in Texas from Florida?
Wife.
Okay, well, that's good enough. That's better reasoning than I could have come up right off the end of my tongue. But what's on your brain, brother?
I was just wondering what your thoughts were on Howard Stern's penis.
Well, it's hard to tell. What do you think about it?
I heard that he breeded with Beetlejuice's mom.
Yep. And Beetlejuice's mother. Oh, no, I just turned on the voice changer and he left. All right. Let's see. I think that was Joseph from Florida, Texas, that moved over because of his wife. And then as soon as I turned on the voice changer, he left. Well, son of a gun. All right. Well, if you would like, 931-994-6917. Man, when am I going to be able to use that voice changer to beyond a 2-second range? As soon as I get there, they're gone, man. Son of a biscuit eater. Oh, well. That being said, if you want to do a prank call, go right ahead. 931-994-6917. Don't be mad at me when you start sounding like a Minnie Mouse at the end of it. But it took me half a second, and I was like, oh, man, this is a prank caller. Click. And I got 2 words out of him on the voice changer, but there you go. Howard Stern. Here's a good Howard Stern thing. I was taking care of a patient. Probably a good 15 years ago. And one of these patients, which I have taken care of a lot of super bariatric patients to the tune of 1,000+ pounds. But this lady, I can remember her name, but I'm not going to say the name. But this lady said, have you ever seen Howard Stern's Private Parts? The movie? And I was like, what? You got to be kidding me. And yeah, there you go. And she wasn't kidding either. Yeah, he was, Arlene. Absolutely, I agree with you. I don't know if the Google gods will allow that thing to go across there, but hey, if you want to call in and talk to me about Howard Stern's Private Parts, 931-994-6917, or if you've got any other interesting conversation to have about paranormal, supernatural, cryptids, Bigfoot, Dogman, Spearfinger, if you're from my general area, or likewise, ghost hauntings, you name it. 931-994-6917. And Joseph from Texas / Florida boy. Appreciate you trying to call in and give us whatever you was trying to do. But man, you should have stayed on for a couple more minutes and let me hear you with that voice changer. Holy cow. Well, anyway, there you go. And as of right now, let me do something real quick. Hold on just a second. There you go. And took care of that. That particular phone number will never be able to get in touch with me again, but there you go. If you'd like to call in and try to prank me, go right ahead. I'd love to hear your prank with you sounding like Minnie Mouse or Mickey Mouse or whatever. But or I could probably do it the other way around. I've got to see how, that's one of the things I can audio pitch you to any kind of degree or make you sound like Darth Vader. I don't know, that kind of be creepy. Can you imagine Darth Vader asking me about Howard Stern's Private Parts? Nah. Well, anyway. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I've been sitting here just jabbering away about a frickin' prank caller and lost the live feed for just a second. And how long was it? Well, you saw a still picture for about 4 minutes. I apologize for that, but it's live now. Doesn't look like anything other than a whole lot of bugs, and looks like well, holy cow, that was an interesting bug. Bugs, and possibly a spider making a nest or something above to the top left-hand corner of your camera there. Vault and Myakka. Wow. Hey, Zwickle, I've been listening to your stories over there on the Vault of Nightmares. That's some crazy stuff. A naked dog man running by your by your truck. I believe you did tell that story on my show. Whoa, hold on just a second. What was that I just seen? Run over here. Oh, that was a bug. That's a bug over there. About ready to say, wait a minute, we got some action going on over the camera. But this is a live caller, 931-994-6917, unscreened calls, as you just seen, or heard, with Yo Joseph from Texas, that's so interested in Howard Stern that he had to call in my show, a supernatural paranormal show, to talk about that. Interesting. But heck, that's what I've got this unscreened open lines. If that's proof that I unscreened open line call, if that's unscreened, you now know it. I screened it live on air there, and I was like, holy cow, let's have a little comedy. But he didn't give me enough time to give comedy to our breaker. Pyromaniac wants to know about, hold on just a second. Pyromedic. Can you do a short collage of stuff you caught on camera one night? Actually, if you go over to the Vault of Nightmares, the Dogman Cams, and my main man. Woo, hold on a second.
Actually,
Unscreened open lines. You are live on the air. What's your name, where you're from, and you need to turn your radio off in the background.
Hello?
No, you're live on the air.
Arlene?
You need to turn that radio off in the background of the podcast.
Okay, give me a second.
All right.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, that's better. Arlene, where are you from?
Okay. Florida.
Oh, another Florida. Great. What's going on with you tonight?
Well, I was going to share something with you. It was where I was living at one time. This was like about a couple years ago. And it seems to me that, well, because I'm in tune, so I'm aware of the other side everywhere I go. So there's always something new everywhere I go.
All right.
So anyway, this place where I was at, I don't know why, but it seemed like some spirit there was trying to get me off my bed. I had been woken up with my arm being pulled upward, and then another time my leg being slid off the side of the bed.
So something actually unseen grabbed a hold of your leg and your arm?
Not at the same time. This was two different instances. I was woken up with my arm being pulled upward like it was trying to get me to sit up off the bed. And then another time, and then I just pulled my arm back down, went back to sleep, And then another time, I caught my leg being slid off the side of the bed. And then there was another strange incident where I woke up feeling cold, and I didn't know why, subconsciously, right?
Right.
So when I did, I was actually teetering literally off the edge of my bed with my arms straight out, like either I was reaching for something or something was trying to literally just, by both my arms, take me off the bed. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why it is it's trying to get me off the bed so bad.
Wow. So have you actually seen anything around those two occasions?
It was a female. She actually called my name one time, and that was my first time having the experience of, having an entity call my name. But, yeah, it was a female that was there. Yeah, I seen her. She had dark hair. She looked like she was wearing a white gown. And I have never for life me seen a spirit where it goes down into the floor. Usually they go right or left, they dissipate. But this one here, I would catch her, going down into the floor like she was trying to hurry up, just disappear down into the floor so I couldn't see her. But she never let me see her face. It was always her backside, and she had long dark hair.
Well, I actually saw a dark entity, a shadow creature or shadow person or whatever, in a hospital across the bed from me. I was taking care of a patient. It looked, as I was trying to make eye contact with it before I could get above its midriff, it looked like it fell through the floor. So I've seen stuff like that.
Wow. Yeah, I've never seen the dark shadows do that before. I don't have a feeling that dark shadows generally are something good. But I've been so used to, the other side since I was 5 that, it's just a normal thing for me, I'm told there's 6 spirits here where I'm at now. I know one of them is my fiance that's passed recently,
Oh, sorry to hear that.
He has made his, he has kind of confirmed for me that he's still watching me. He's still with me. Because there was something him and I used to do when we tell each other we love each other. I'd say, I love you, love you, love you. And he'd go, I love you too, baby. And there's other times he'd do it to me, But, yeah, I was talking to a card reader not too long ago. That was a live chat. And he does readings with just regular playing cards. And I've never seen that before. But he had he liked to tell his audience that he loved them. But he never said, I love you, love you, love you. Except for this one time, I feel like my fiancé channeled him because he just came out one night and just said, love you, love you, love you to everybody. and that never happened before. And then I was just over at a friend's house last night, and their little girl, she kept wanting to come over and give me hugs, and then she came and gave me this one big bear hug. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. I needed that. You know, I give you big bear hugs back, right? And then she takes off for a second. She comes back, and she says, I wrote you a note. So she actually made a little envelope by hand and then put the note inside. And then when I open up the note, guess what it says?
What's that?
I love you, I love you, I love you.
Oh, wow. Was it in his handwriting?
No. The little girl at my friend's house had went and wrote this note, and that's what was in the note.
Wow.
So to me, that's him reaching out, trying to let me know that he's still here, you know.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. In my heart, that's what it is. I mean, normally people don't come up to you and tell you something that only you and, you know, your other half knows, you know, so that's just confirmation to me.
Oh, yeah. There's a sort of like a casual friend, Sparks of the Paranormal. He's a YouTuber, and he says he gets signs like that from his dad. And I think his dad calls him Buddy. And if he hears some disembodied voice say Buddy or whatever, I think he uses these little SB7s, those little voice boxes that you see so much on Paranormal.
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
The spirit box, yeah.
Yeah. And if he can say, I think it says, hey, bud, or bud, he knows it's from his dad.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to find one of those that's actually legitimate, you know, on just for free download or even paying for one on your app store. You know, I've been actually in the neighborhood trying to find someone that actually has one.
I think you make one out of an old FM AM radio that does scanning. You can go online and look it up, or do a YouTube search how to make your own spirit box if you want to go that far. I don't think it's that hard if you're electronically inclined. It should be a snap.
Yeah, I'm not very electronically inclined.
Okay.
I tried one, and I kid you not, I heard him laugh on that one, and anyway, I didn't, and then I didn't get any more out of it, so I deleted it. But now I wish I had kept it on there. I can't remember which one it was, but I actually heard his laugh on there.
Oh, really?
And I was like, there's no way that, you know, some computer or something knows my man's laugh. So that was amazing. I actually heard him laugh, so I was like, he's happy.
Well, my late brother Travis, after his passing, my sister heard him call her name out once. And then a few months later, I heard him call, hey, Sean. And it sounded like it was coming from outside. And I was like,
wow.
Yeah, I remember that night or that day, him calling or yelling at me. And my sister, you know, she was living here at the time after she moved in with him to take care of him in his final days. And heard him call out, and she sent me a text. I just heard Travis. So I got up and said, what did you say? I just heard Travis holler at me. So, yeah, that's interesting just to say they're reaching out. God granted the ability to say, hey, I'm still here. You're okay. I'm okay.
Right. Amen to that.
Yep. So,
what is your take on that, actually? Because people, I mean, in the religious world, they tend to want to believe that, you know, as soon as you pass on, you know, you go to either place, and then there's just no them communicating to their loved ones at all. I've tried talking to my sister about this, and she's been going to the church like forever, and there's just no way he's trying to talk to you, you know, or trying to communicate to you or something, and you know, there's no breaking through that barrier. You know, she doesn't believe me. She doesn't believe in it, you know, so.
Yeah, well, you're talking to a guy that had a rather lengthy near-death experience. Actually, 6 years the day after Thanksgiving. I had about 10 days I was in a coma, and 3 of those days they were telling my family I was not going to make it. But from my perspective, you know, whatever it says in the Bible, yeah, okay. But God had, you know, if God allows it, and it's by the will of God, I don't foresee any reason why not to believe it. You know.
Right.
If it left you with a good feeling and your environment feels great afterwards, then I think that is of God.
Right. That's what I believe too. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I've got a couple
I've actually
instances.
have been able to smell. Go ahead.
No, you go right ahead. I want to hear you. I've already told
Oh
this
no, I
story.
was just gonna say, different spirits have different smells. I knew his smell, when he was, with the living.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's been ways I was able to know that, he's in my presence. But, I think the bad smells are when it's like the smell of something burning, or the smell of like a sulfur smell,
Rotted
or something
flesh.
rotten smell.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I think
I've had to deal with that here in the last several months about that rotted, sewage kind of smell. And I don't have a sewage problem, but I've had to do a lot of rebuking lately. So.
Okay. Well, have you tried commanding it to leave?
Oh yeah. In the name of Jesus Christ, hereby command you to leave. You're no longer welcome here. And then plead the blood of Jesus
You're not welcome
Christ.
here. You're not welcome. Yeah. Let them know you demand. You have to strongly demand that they're not welcome there in your home.
Right.
And I command you to leave in the holy name. That's how I've been doing it, anyways.
Well, it works. I can tell you. It's just like.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
When I do these shows, every show I've been doing for the last several months, I pray before and after each show, and that's my sign off. I pray for protection and blessings for everybody that listens to the show. And that has helped by and large. There's been times when I'm like, wow, why is there so much activity in this old house? And then I put two and two together. Yep, there you go.
Right, a lot of places have history. Energies left behind, because of the history of that home.
Right.
Spirits can attach themselves to you as well. I had a strange incident one time where, this is probably going to really blow your mind. I've never had this happen before in my life either. Same place I was telling you about there where I was living, where I was having these, goings-ons with a spirit there with that girl that looked like she had dark hair. Okay, there's a cemetery down that same road from where my old place is. And anyway, I've always got the idea that, not to be around cemeteries too much, because a spirit can attach themselves to you and then hitchhike home. They just follow you home for some reason. I've had that happen. And I think I had a spirit of a little boy that had followed me home from that same cemetery, I think, because I was feeling off, like I was being, just bombarded by this spirit for like a whole day. I felt dragged down and stuff, and I couldn't figure out what was going on with me. It was odd, I felt, And anyway, so I'm taking my dog for a walk. I'm going back by that same cemetery, and I had this instant where I felt like I needed to sigh or something. And it was like a mist or something that came out of my mouth and went right over there to that cemetery. And then I was like, what in the world? It's nice and cold outside. That was crazy.
Yeah,
so
that's one of those things. Sometimes, if a spirit or something from the ethereal pops over, things get cold all of a sudden.
Yeah. It was very unusual. I actually seen a woman walking through the cemetery that one time too, going by there. She went from one tombstone to the other and then disappeared. I had another experience where I was visiting my own parents' grave. This was many years ago. I haven't been able to get over that way. It's a long distance from where I'm at, over here in Florida. And so anyhow, I was there with a friend from work that had brought me there. And anyway, so while we're there, and I'm visiting my mom and dad's grave, and these people go over there. These are the new grave sites across the way. There's a young couple that's got we saw four children there, run back and forth and play, while they're visiting. So these people hop in their vehicle, just two children hop in and two children get left. We couldn't figure out what was going on. Why'd they take two children and leave the other two children, right? The other two children kept running around and play like they were doing with the other two children that were there. And then as soon as it became to be like, what they call twilight hour, them same two children went over towards them grave sites and then disappeared.
Wow.
My coworker said, "Don't you tell anybody about what happened, because they all won't believe us and think we're crazy."
Well, there's so many different stories that it's more anecdotal on my behalf, but there's so many out there that these kids have invisible playmates. Now, how is that part of growing up, or is that actually kids have the ability to see the ethereal way more than we do, and then whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever event causes them to transition over to where I don't believe in that, and they lose that ability. But yeah, they're
Right.
how many of these invisible friendships that they talk about, these disembodied, how many of those are spirits or worse? You don't know.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I've had the gifts since I was a children, but I never lost the ability. It stayed with me.
True. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Arlene. That was fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Thank you. I've got a lot more I could share, but I don't want to blah, blah, blah the time away. I know there's other people that probably want to talk to you, too, so...
Well, you can call in anytime you want.
I appreciate the time, and I'm honored that you let me get on here and talk with you.
I appreciate you calling in, and anytime you want to call back in, you're more than welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Arlene. Calling from Florida.
Bless
appreciate
you and your family.
Bless you, too.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Arlene from Florida with her paranormal ghost stories. That's just amazing to me that occurs. Have you ever had an encounter, a disembodied voice just jump up? I got a text message from area code 972. Thank you, Sean. Home made my day, made me remember the family, and made me remember you how much I miss them out there. Thanks again. And I appreciate you for that, area code 972. Appreciate you sending that message in. On the text line, 931-994-6917, 931-994-6917. Tyler, if you want to call in now, you can. I appreciate it. I've seen that you tried to call in while we were doing this. Got your text message as well, if you'd like to call in, and I believe this is it. Unscreened caller, I believe this is Tyler. Hold on just a second.
Sir.
Yeah, this is Tyler. Where are you from, sir?
I'm from Okaloosa County, Florida. That is in the Northwest Florida Panhandle. So I live out in a small town called Baker, Florida. We're about 45 minutes north of Destin, which is the beach.
Oh yeah, I've been to Destin. Beautiful white beaches. I spent Thanksgiving.
Oh
down there.
yeah, man, they're beautiful. Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was interesting. Everybody else was shivering, and I was there going, well, it's not as cold as I'm used to this time of year, but
well,
beautiful
when the
place.
temperature drops down here from the humidity, it'll bite you a little bit. Like it'll dip down in. I've seen it get like 28, 29, and 90% humidity. Ooh.
Yeah, when the cold dip gets below freezing down there, and it makes national news, it's a little cold for Floridians, Florida boys.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. So what do you got on your mind tonight?
My buddy Connor Flynn at BigFoot Anonymous, he told me to give me a shout out in tonight's show, and he told me to call in and talk. So we were in the Myakka State Forest over the weekend with Stacy Brown Jr. We had a pretty good expedition. We didn't get much, skunk ape activity. We heard some, wood knocks and a couple hand claps. I think they found some tracks. So we had a lot of paranormal stuff happen. But it was funny. I was told Connor about this. The night everyone heard something moving around in camp. So I'm laying in my tent. I'm dead asleep. And I have a dream, and I'm laying there, and it's like I'm in the woods somewhere. I don't know where I am, but I'm in the location I've never been, and I can see a skunk ape, like 15 feet from me, like waving its hand at me, like telling me to come here, but like soft and kind looking, like it wouldn't hurt me, like it wants to show me something. Well, I shot up from my dream, woke up, and that was when everyone started hearing something moving around the camp, and we heard some wood knocks. It was it was pretty weird, man. But back in January, this past January, I was out hiking and captured something on video, and that's kind of what put me on the map. Matt Moneymaker shared it on his Twitter, and it blew up on YouTube, and I'm already at 29,000 videos, man. 29,000 videos views. I never thought I would have made it that far, Yeah. And I met some fantastic people along the way. Stacy Brown Jr. I got a hold of him because an older man reached out to me on my YouTube channel, much older than me, tell me about encounters in my area. He's like, man, you should reach out to him. he's a local Florida boy. He's not far, and maybe he might be able to help you out. And so I did, and it's funny. He's like, man, me and my team seen your video, and I've been trying to get a hold of you forever. And we've been going on expeditions, and we're linking up to do some more around the Panhandle, especially here in my area. We got some, we're planning some cool things coming up. Me and Connor, me and him are definitely going to get out in the woods, get out there and get after it. I'm in the woods 5 out of 7 days a week from pretty much fall all the way to spring.
Well, apparently, Bigfoot Anonymous is going to go up in south or north of him and visit Flat Rock. Up
there
guy.
in Evergreen. That's not far from me.
Yeah. So you going to tag along with him?
I'm going to try to. Yeah. I remember we talked about it. We talked about it briefly over the weekend. But if he sends me the deets on it, yeah, I'll definitely try to link up with him, because believe it or not, Evergreen is, the Bigfoot capital of Alabama. There's a state legislature deeming that. And that's not too far from here. And the county that it's in, I have heard stories of people saying they're very aggressive, which is extremely odd, because they're not known to be aggressive in the South. Well, in our neck of the woods, the Appalachian Mountains is another story. Right. I'm sure you know the story of the Mountain Devil.
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of different things, from Spearfinger, the Mountain Devil, to trolls, you name it. We got it going on up here.
But, yeah, it's crazy. I heard a story from a guy who is not far from Evergreen, who lives in Bruton, Alabama. And he was hunting on the Canuck River, and he said him and his boy were sitting in the shooting house, and that next thing I know, they seen a giant hand grab a hold of the edge of the window in the shooting house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Pretty crazy, man.
So Myakka adventure you guys went on, what kind of paranormal stuff did you encounter?
EMF meter started going off the charts. We had a lady there by the name of Miss Phyllis. She's someone who can talk with spirits, like open the portal and stuff and communicate. And they had like 4 or 5 boxes going. I can't remember the exact terms for it. The paranormal ghost hunting side is very new for me. Literally, I've been an avid deer hunter, turkey hunter my whole life, and had experienced things in the woods my whole life. And that's what got me on this path. But the paranormal stuff is cool. But there was a rocking chair behind me. So we're filming, and Stacy's, got the spirit box, and he's trying to communicate with the spirits. And my camera's, I'm recording on my iPhone. It shoots in 4K, and I'm also recording on actual Nikon camera. And I have a full battery in it, and it shuts off as soon as the meters start going. And it's a full battery. It says battery exhausted. Well, at that point in time, I turn around, and they're like, Tyler, the chair behind you is rocking. So I turned the camera back around, and the rocking chair behind me is moving, like rocking back and forth. And I didn't touch it, and everyone in that room standing still.
Wow.
And yeah, man. And I think Miss Phyllis, had something like a pot or something like a vase or something fell off the mantle and hit her on the head. I briefly heard that. I wasn't there for it, but I heard it was pretty crazy.
Now, I
was actually in the woods when all that happened.
Was this the same person that called or reached out to the UFOs and made an appearance as well?
I'm not too sure. I don't know who that was. I just briefly got on the show. Connor hit me up. He's like, yo, go on the show. He's like, because I told him let me know when the next one was. And he was like, yeah, I'll let you know.
Did you have a UFO encounter yourself?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we're standing there along the creek. We're walking through the woods. It's like me, Stacy, and like 2 or 3 other people. And we're just walking through the woods, doing some hand claps, doing a couple whoops, trying to see if we can get some kind of, response back. Nothing happened. And I'm standing there, and I just happened to look up in the trees, through the moonlight. And I'm looking between these 2 oak limbs that look like a fork and a river. And I see a star look like it starts bebopping in between each branch. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I was like, what in the world is that? And I'm watching it going back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, Stacy, come here. He's like, what? I was like, come check this out, man. There's something crazy going on up here in the sky. And he come over here, and I was like, look between the fork up there, and you'll see something bebopping in between it. He's like, oh, yeah, man. So we kept watching it, man. And we got out to the highway, where the Big Dipper was, and we seen it there for just a few more seconds, then it disappeared. And that was pretty crazy. And then later that night, me and a buddy of mine that I met over the weekend, he was our drone pilot, we're sitting around the fire like 5:30 in the morning. I just looked up in the sky, man. I was like, dude, check that out. So we see this like glowing red ball just come out of nowhere and kind of like went in a circle and then like shot off and disappeared. It was insane.
Wow.
Never seen anything like it in my life.
Well, I guess that changed your perspective of what's possible, right?
Oh, absolutely. I've always thought something in paranormal stuff, man, because I used to be in a hunting club up in Union Springs, Alabama. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that is deep South Alabama, middle of nowhere. Big Confederate graveyard there for the Civil War and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's very small, very small. Well, the house that our hunting camp was, it was an old plantation home, and it was an old white 2-story house. It had them huge bedrooms, you could fit 5 bunk beds in there. You know what I mean? The ceilings were 15 foot high. It seemed like those old plantation homes, Well, right. Me and my dad were laying in our bunks one night, and we start hearing boots coming down the stairs with the spurs on them. And my dad's like, "Tommy already here?" I'm like, "I don't think so." He's like, "Tommy's not supposed to be here till tomorrow night." We both get out of our bunks, and we can still hear it coming down, think, or we're going to come out of the bedroom and meet him right there at the stairs, and there's not a soul there.
Now that is strange. I've come across a lot of footsteps and stuff that I couldn't explain throughout my lifetime.
Oh yeah.
And to the point of actually seeing full body apparitions, seeing heads stuck out of windows and doorways. I actually I've got a video. I don't know if I posted it on my channel or not,
man,
but I've
got a crazy picture I'm going to send you.
Oh, that's cool.
Go ahead.
Sean G at imdarkwaters.com if you'd want to.
Okay.
While I was doing a live stream, I was doing a live stream in my dining room. I had it all set up, and I've got a hallway camera that can see into the dining room and down the hallway. While I'm doing a live stream,
right.
And I think I was talking about paranormal actually at that time. There's something sticking its freaking head out of my bedroom I'm in right now doing this live stream, looking around, and I've got that on my freaking video. Got it live, and I'm like, holy cow! Of course, I did a lot of rebuking after that, but gee whiz.
Right.
But I've got. I actually looked at that earlier today. I was like, what's that doing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I actually watched that video earlier today. I was like, yeah, that's me talking about something paranormal.
Yeah, we were in the Tatum house, and we had the vortex going. So we shut the lights off and the fog machine going, and had the laser strobes going. And you're supposed to take pictures with your phone without the flash of the fog, and you can catch faces and stuff. So I have a picture that I captured on my phone. It is crazy. Connor put something in the chat about it. But so you ever see, the Florida State logo, how it shows the Indians' head at a side angle?
Like
Florida
familiar.
State football?
Yeah, vaguely familiar.
Okay, so I captured a picture, and it looks like that, but instead of it being an Indian, you can clear as day see the whole side of a face, the nose, the jaw, the neck, the ear, eyes, mouth, and like an old type colonial hat that they would wear back in the day from like the movie The Patriot. And it's clear as day. And then behind it, you see another subject where you can see shoulders, head, 2 arms, cone-shaped head, long arms, and it looks like it could possibly be a Bigfoot behind it. So it makes me wonder if something might have happened there with that house a long time ago with a Bigfoot and whoever that person was, because some of the encounters that we were having with some of the spirits were male.
Well, I've talked
and the
to
house, I believe, was from 1889, I believe.
I've talked to a few people that have encountered these Bigfoot, and their theory is that some of these Bigfoot were alive back in the Civil War days.
Oh, I believe it.
Now, their lifespan's hundreds of years, a couple of hundreds, 300 years long, from what I gather.
So where I'm from is a small town called Niceville. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's on the back side of the Choctawhatchee Bay. It's right across the bay from Destin. You take a toll bridge going to Destin. The Sun Pass Bridge. Did you take that when you went down there?
I didn't incur any toll bridges when I went down to Destin. No.
Okay,
but I went through Panama City down to Destin.
Okay,
that way.
You took 98. Then you bypassed toll. You probably came down 331 highway. But so where I'm from, in a small town called Niceville, which is across the bay from Destin, my family homesteaded there in 1906. We helped empire the turpentine industry in this area because before the Eglin Air Force Base Reservation, my family owned a bunch of land on the reservation, and we used to do turpentine and stuff. And my grandfather has the land deed from back in the day of Teddy Roosevelt signature, and my great grandfather of us signing the land over to the military, and he deemed it the Choctawhatchee National Forest. And he has told me stories and I've heard stories going all the way back to the early 1900s of family members deep down generations of having encounters with these things.
Who was that president
from
again?
The stories that
Who was the president?
I believe it was Teddy Roosevelt.
Roosevelt, wasn't he the one that wanted to hunt Bigfoot?
I don't know if he hunted or not, but I know he wrote about it in his diary.
Okay. He had all kinds of weird, he wanted to hunt down these cryptids throughout his
I didn't know
able-bodied days. If it's the one I'm thinking about, it may be somebody else, but
I didn't know that. But yeah, the stories go back a long time here, man. And I'm Creek Indian on my mother's side, and so the stories go back further than that. And that's why I believe some of the dreams that I have and some of the experiences that I have in the woods, I believe some of that might stem from it, because I think they might sense, and I'm not there to hurt them, because I'm not. I'm there just to try to learn from them and respect them as a species, or as a human, whatever they are, to give them their space, because we're driving them out, and that's why people are starting to have more interaction with them.
Well, the deep dark forest is not so deep and dark anymore, and we're encroaching. I agree with you, encroaching on we're basically building in their backyard, in their living room, so to speak. So yeah, we'd have more encounters with them.
Here in a few months, I'll be up close, not too far from your neck of the woods. I'll be up in West Virginia. My brother's wife, her family's got 200 acres on the side of the mountains with a primitive cabin, and then apparently they've had a lot of things happen up there, a lot, enough to give me goosebumps. So I'm going to check it out.
Holy cow! Well, you definitely need to, tell me about it whenever you do. Call in, tell me what you're saying.
Absolutely. Now that I saved this, I saved your number. So now that anytime I go out, man, and crazy stuff happens, or if I catch something, I'll send it to you, man. I'll call in. Absolutely.
All right. Appreciate it. I'd love to see anything, West Virginia up through that way. One of my friends, Greg Connor, he has Bigfoot and Dogman encounters left, not so much, but in the last couple of years. But this year he actually he lost his dog at the first of the year. At the first of when all this pandemic crap happened, he lost his dog to some mysterious, unknown circumstances where you would think it was reported as a hit and run, hit a dog, and it was on the side of the road. Right. Well, the forest agent, the dog catcher, or whatever you want to call it, came to be and was investigating along with about 4 or 5 other sheriffs with their guns drawn. Early in the morning, and Greg pops up and says, "What are you boys doing here?" "Well, we're investigating this hit and run dog accident here, and why are your guns drawn?" Well, they hum-har around, didn't really say why, but they had the flashlights out with guns drawn, hunting the backside of the woods and stuff, and his dog was dead with blood all over the place. Well, he ordered them off after they wouldn't, tell him what he thought was going on. So, well, are you finished? Yeah, well, get off my property. And one of the sheriffs come up to him and said, "Your property's clear, and your house is clear." "Well, how do you know my house is clear?" "Well, your back door's open. Did you go in?" "No." Well, he left his dog Jackson locked up in the house. He wouldn't get out. Usually he wanted to get out first thing and he went off to do a job. So, well, okay, boy, I'll be back in a little bit. If you don't want to get out, I guess I'll just come back to see a mess or whatever. Well, his back door was open, and that's how he got out, some way, somehow. But he took his dog back, and, you know, right before he buried him, he inspected him. There was not one scratch on that dog. Not one to explain any of that blood, one drop of that blood. So
that's wild.
You know, when he first told me that, I hadn't heard from him in months. I mean, months, 6 months plus. And he said, I just, you know, it was like a son to him. Jackson was. And he just went nuts over it, and he secluded himself and didn't do anything. And then finally he told me this story, and he said, "Well, I'm going to tell anybody, but you're the first I've told." And I was like, "Well, I appreciate you telling me this," but he was choked up when he was talking about it. And he said,
I believe it. Yeah.
He had encounters with Bigfoot and Dogman, and he here recently in the last maybe 3 weeks said he had some growling on his property while he was out. And this boy, if anybody was Second Amendment forward, he is. He's got enough. I wouldn't want to get on his property without announcing.
I hear you.
You know,
that's what started it for me, man. When I was, I've been an avid deer hunter and turkey hunter from the time I was 6 years old till I'm 29. I'll be 30 next month. I spend a lot of time in the woods, my friend, and I've seen people from a long distance. I have seen people up close and personal. But when I was 13 years old, man, I was sitting in my tree stand, and I'm getting ready to get down out of my tree.
Right.
And my dad gets on the radio. He's like, "T, there's something coming down the creek to you." I couldn't see it, but it sounded pretty big. I don't know what it was, but just, be careful. Just be watching. I'm like, all right. Well, about that, he's like, "I don't know what it is." I'm like, all right. So it's pitch black and dark, and I can, in a few minutes go by, then I can hear something coming down the creek. I could hear water being displaced. Let's say you in the creek, belly high, and you got to get to the hill, you're going to pump them legs quick. To get to the hill, you're going to move water, and it's going to make some noise. Well, it's pitch black and dark, man, and all you hear is crickets, and it's nothing. I'm sitting in planted pines and hardwoods. And there's just those big, oak leaf trees that fall every year, and you can hear a buck step on it from a mile away. Those leaves I'm talking about up in your neck of the woods.
There's no way in the world that you can easily soft step. That's why these Indians have these moccasins.
Yep. That I consider that a minefield for deer. But I could hear something come through the creek, hearing that water move, and then I heard something come out of the creek and heard something dripping. It sounded like something dripping and hitting the leaves and stuff. I'm like, what is that? Well, at this point in time, the moon's up, and these planted pines I'm sitting in. So these planted pines butted up, to this creek that ran through, and it was, oak trees all around, hardwoods on that creek. But the planted pines were planted about halfway up that hill, all the way up to the ridge, and for as far as you could look. So that's how I could hear, all that stuff moving around. Well, it stops, and I can hear the water still dripping. And I hear a couple steps. It takes a couple steps. It stops again. And then it's like it made a beeline to my tree. It went from being to like it covered a lot of real estate quick, man. And the sound was so loud from the commotion, I thought I was going to jump in my lap, and then it stopped. Well, I'm sitting in these planted pines, and the moon's up. I can see pretty good. You get in the woods at night, you got a good moon, no clouds. Mm-hmm. You can see through them trees for a good ways. And I could count, 10, 12 trees in them planted pines in the dark because just the moon was so bright. Right. I counted 3 trees down and seen shoulders sticking out on each side and could see breath. I'm 40 foot up a pine tree in a climbing tree stand. And I could automatically tell just from how high, just from the angle of where the breath and shoulders are at, that was much larger than a man.
Oh yeah.
But but that was all I could see. Well, then it left. Well,
you think it was where you've been up there in that stand?
Do what now?
You think that creature was aware of you being up in that stand?
I think so. I think it came out of that creek, and then it caught scent. I think I was, I think he was downwind from me, and he caught a scent. He caught my scent and started coming to me because it was just casual footsteps, and then it stopped. and then it sounded like he was running like full-blown sprint to my tree.
Oh, wow.
That's why I thought he was going to jump in my lap, because that's how loud it was. It sounded like someone was running at me, just very large, and I couldn't see anything. And then it stopped, and I could see shoulders and the breath. Well, I get down out of my tree stand, and I put it back together and put it on my back. You put it together like a backpack, and I put it on my back and I start walking out of the woods, I'm walking down this old dim road, and I get to where the moon's bright, so I don't even have my headlamp on, don't need it. Well, I get to where I can start to see the sage-grass field. At the edge of these planted pines, there's a sage-grass field, and on the other side of that sage-grass field is the gate where the truck's at. Well, I get to where I can see the field, and I'm in maybe 40 yards from stepping into that field out of these pines, walking down this old dim road, and I hear something coming out of the creek in a hurry, like catty cornering me as I'm walking. And then it sounds like it gets within 3 feet, like it could have reached out and grabbed me. Well, I'm 13 years old. I'm a big dude. I'm 6'4", 230 pounds. When I was 13, I was a massive child. I played football. My dad was rough. I wouldn't say rough, but he was hard and stern on me growing up. You ain't no crying in football. I was a tough kid.
Oh, yeah.
And the entire time that was going on, as I was walking, tears are rolling down my face, and I'm trying my hardest to be quiet as I'm walking through these woods. And I would stop, and then I'd hear, I'd walk a little bit, stop, and it'd stop. Animals don't do that.
Well, something was either stalking you or just keeping up with you.
I don't know if it was stalking me, or I don't know if it was just curious. And at this point, I'm literally about to step out of those pines right into the middle of that sage-grass field. And I look across the field, and I can see the dome line on in my dad's truck. I was like, all right, Dad's at the truck. I'm good to go. And I'm starting to feel good, And as soon as I take a step out, something yelled, screamed, roared, hollered, whatever you want to call it. It was so loud. I felt it hit me in the chest. It was like you're at a concert and you could feel your clothes vibrate, And I dropped my climber off my back and ran for everything I had.
Yeah, I'd do the same thing.
And for the longest time, my dad wouldn't believe me, man. And after my YouTube channel blew up, he started asking questions.
Oh, wow.
And he pays attention in them woods now. I'll tell you that.
No doubt. If you see it once, eventually it'll come back. I think these are kind of nomadic, but they've got a pattern.
I think they have a few miles they stay in.
Right. Yeah, from what I understand, they only stay in one spot for maybe at most 48 hours, just to keep it to where it's not lived in.
Before.
Just
right,
just to keep it so where they light, lay their heads at night or whenever they sleep, it doesn't look like it's
of not being found.
Right. So if you stay out of it,
you pick up and go.
Right. So. And maybe that's
I believe that
that's their self-preservation. They don't want to be around us, so spend 1 night, 2 nights here or wherever. Or if something encroaches on them, they say, "Well, okay, I'm old enough to know that I don't want anything to do with a human, so I'm gone."
And exactly. And what got my dad really thinking about it is because I told him all the time ever since I was a child, I was like, "Daddy, I hear things in the woods at night. I hear things in the woods at night." He's like, "It's just the woods playing tricks on you. It'll do it to you." That's what he told me my whole life. I've been hearing whoops my whole life, man. Almost identical to the whoops in the Sierra sounds. That's how picture perfect they sounded. And he'd always just tell me the woods are just playing tricks on you. The woods are playing tricks on you. Till me and him were sitting in the woods we were sitting in the woods 3 years ago. No, didn't hear the samurai chatter. I've never heard that. I've only heard whoops. And I would love to hear the samurai chatter, to be honest with you. I think that would be amazing.
Okay. I got something, I got a recording that I got from BigFoot or Flatwood Booger that come from his back door. I can play that right now, and you can be able to hear it. Hold on just a second. Here it comes.
Yeah, here it comes.
hear it or not.
I can vaguely hear it.
It's off in the distance. Let me see if I can find the other one.
Oh, I heard it good that time.
I'm just saying. I've got so many. Oh, here's one. Let me stop this one and play this one. This is a little bit longer, but this is only like a 30-second file. This is something yelling at Flat Rock Booger's camera. I'll just say, let me turn this way up. There we go.
Oh, wow.
Let me restart that.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, that's from Flat Rock Booger for sure. I've played this a couple times on my show. I played this a couple times, but this is, one of those. What the hell's yelling at that camera in his backyard?
Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. So a few weeks ago, man, I was sitting out there on the river and I heard my uncle was with me. He heard it too. And he wears hearing aids. And I'm like, Steve, you heard that? But we both heard something go, yeah, I can't believe he heard it, because even with his hearing aids in, I had to yell at him 90% of the time. And he's like, what? Well, he built bombs for the Air Force for 28 years. You know what I mean? He helped develop the bunker buster and all that. So he's hard of hearing because he worked in munitions and whatnot. But we heard something go, boom, boo-la, like boo-la, wow, boo-la, in the woods. And he was like, did you hear that, man? I was like, yeah.
Well, some people that are hard of hearing can still hear certain tones, certain frequencies very clearly. So it might have hit,
right.
Yeah, it might have hit something that he could have heard plain as day. So there you
go. Yeah, for sure. It's pretty wild, man. But I'm in the woods, man, 5 out of 7 days a week. It's like what I tell people on my YouTube channel. I'm like, 90% of the time I'm out here, nothing happens. It's always when I'm lingering around my fire, not doing much, don't have the camera going, and I'm looking like I'm just chilling, and that's when stuff starts happening.
Well, 95% of the time, people that go out here and investigate whatever it is, UFOs, paranormal, supernatural, cryptids, Bigfoot, you name it, they're not seeing anything. It's usually when the downtime, when you're not expecting anything, crap happens.
Right.
But, that was right off of Flat Rock Booger's back porch, I think, pretty close to it. He's got all kinds of crazy stuff.
Man, that's wild, dude.
So if you go up there with Connor, you may, he was just saying somebody went up there that actually researched this and got 10 out of 10 things he was looking for while he was there on his property.
I believe it. I've made some friends over the years because I'm local and I've lived here for a long time. And I know some guys who are 7th Special Forces Group. They have their compounds built out here on Eglin. And it's built on the woods I used to hunt, believe it or not, when I was a kid. And a few of my buddies have told me they've been out there on nighttime training exercises and have seen things through them night vision goggles that wasn't a man.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir.
I had a guy that I think he was part of a tank crew probably about 15 years ago, 20 years ago in the Army, said that something bigger than his tank, taller than his tank was. They came upon, I think they were out in the field doing some sort of operation, practice operation or whatever. He said this thing was huge, absolutely huge. So I had,
oh wow,
kind of wonder, people that are naysayers to this stuff. Why are there so many people from different, walks of life, different professions, military to little old ladies in their backyard saying, well, this thing comes up and we do some trading, as they said back in the old days. Trading for what? What was it? Big hairy man, big just stinky ape or whatever.
Yeah. And half the people want to remain anonymous.
Right. They don't want to talk about it.
They're not looking to get publicity from it. So how are you going to sit there and naysay it when they don't even want to know let people know who they are? Like, that's
you're my 7th caller for tonight, and I about guarantee you, 100 people that thought about, well, maybe I want to call in or maybe I'm not, talk themselves out of calling in tonight. They're listening to this show. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
1 out of 10 people may call in. 1 out of 100 people may call in and say, well, I had this. I've had a few people call in saying, hey, I wasn't going to call in until you said it's, I'm talking directly to you. You call in. This is your time to call in and let off your chest what you've been holding down for a while. And
right.
Luckily,
I'm glad Connor told me about your show, man. I'm pumped to be able to be a part of it and share everything I have, man. That man right there is very knowledgeable. If anybody has questions or wants to learn anything on paranormal or, Bigfoot stuff, that man knows a lot.
All right, Tyler, if you were going to name a drink, energy drink off of from Connor that would represent his energy level, what would you name the drink?
All right, let me see here. Energy level, dope. That man's dope, dude. He is. I admire that man. He's a cool dude. I acquired a very good friend over. I didn't meet him till the expedition.
Wow, the Myakka expedition.
I didn't meet him till last weekend, man, and we hit it off right off the rip, dude. And he's good people.
Wow, so he's got. Does he attract this type of activity? Bigfoot, cryptid, paranormal, you name it.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm not going to invite him up to my house. I don't want Bigfoot in my backyard, but I actually have. Last few days.
I think so.
I've seen deer in my backyard the last few days on my night vision cameras I've got posted around my house. So, where there's deer, there's possibly, I'm in the middle of Appalachian Mountains, so where there's deer, there's possibly Bigfoot around. And no doubt about it.
Absolutely, 100%. You're right.
Whitesburg, Kentucky, there's a guy that I follow over there that doesn't hunt them as much as he used to. I don't think he's went out since he's had 2 little boy and a little girl. He's like, I'm not going to do it anymore. I just don't want to get myself in a situation where they're not going to have her dad. So that, by and large, just says, hey, I've got more important things to deal with than prove that I already know that these things are out here. I don't want to get back there and get in a situation where I'm going to, get hurt or lose my life or the ability to, provide for my kids. So that just screams, hey, there's something out there, and he thinks enough about it that I don't want to put myself in danger. So,
you're right.
If anybody, it's called if you want to look up the YouTube channel, The Hillbillies.
I've seen them.
Yeah, those are folks. I've actually got a Bigfoot shirt I ordered from them. They're not that far from me, but I don't.
That's cool.
I've never talked to them. I've ordered some stuff from them, but they seem to be pretty cool people, and looks like they're doing pretty well. They got a brand new little baby girl that just started walking. They kind of chronicleize their kids' life and play a lot of practical jokes on each other, which was kind of hilarious. Yeah. I'd probably have a heart attack from some of the stuff they pull, but there you go.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Yeah. Well, Tyler, I appreciate you calling in, brother. Anytime you want to. Yeah, man,
I appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, anytime especially when you go up there to West Virginia and check out that place, or if your family allows you to get up there and do what you want to do up there, and you come in contact with some stuff. I hope that you come back with all your limbs attached, because I don't know.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm If when I go up there, man, I'm gonna try and go live on YouTube with that. If stuff starts popping off, I'm gonna try and figure out how I can go live so people can watch.
Well, I think you have to have like 1,000 people to be able to go live. I've not been. I've had the ability to go live for about a month and a half on my channel, but I've not done it yet. I think it's about 1,000.
I'm so new to YouTube, man.
Well, I hit 1,000 and they denied me monetization, so I've got to figure out another way to get a little something to be able to keep this channel going. But
I hear you.
Tyler, I appreciate you calling in, brother. You have had a fantastic encounters, and I appreciate you calling in and sharing just a few of them.
Yeah, man, for sure. Like I said, anytime I have any more, I'll be more than happy to share them, man. I'd love for everybody to hear.
All right. Well, anytime you want to share it or send me that picture that you said that you was going to send me, Sean G at imdarkwaters.com, and it should pop up periodically throughout. Actually, it's up there on the screen right now. My email address. So, and it's in the link in the description and link. All that good stuff. But,
for sure.
Anytime, brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, folks. There's you. I was like, okay, I've had Connor Flynn on. He had talked up a good game. I was wondering, well, is anybody else going to call? And I've had a bunch of other people that, holy cow. Well, I was hoping that I would be able to talk to that one Joseph from Texas that was talking about Howard Stern, but he wouldn't give me enough chance to talk to him. Holy cow. Wow. If you want to call in, this is the last chance to call in. 931-994-6917. 931-994-6917. This is your last call. My call for the last caller. If you want to end the show and up and say, hey, I'm the last caller, fantastic, great. But I think I'm going to give her up here in a little bit. Let's see, who else was there? Was somebody else that tried to, let me get up the Skype thing and look. Who was it? Holy cow, give me just a second. Yeah, if you want to call in, 931-994-6917, that's the call in. There was somebody that was in the chat that was saying, hey, I'd like to call. Tyler, again, thank you for calling in, brother. You have some fantastic, crazy Canadian Canuck. Call in, 931-994-6917. If you got Skype, Chasing the Truth 2018. Wow. I don't know. Can you top the callers I've had tonight? I would dare say hell yeah, but there's been some fantastic callers without doubt. And here's another unscreened caller. Unscreened caller, you are about to be live on the air. You are live on the air. What's your name and where you're from?
It is Crazy Canuck. Canadian Canuck.
Crazy Canuck. If you can turn down that audio in the background, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I turned it down. Give it to my husband so he can go play his slots on there.
Oh, okay.
I won him a bunch of coins, so he can go do that. So, yeah, no, I was trying all evening to get in, and so it was a scramble just to do it. I ended up trying to light a cigarette and then caught my hair on fire.
Oh, wow. So what's going on with you?
Yeah, so I'm dialing the phone, and my husband's trying to put my hair out because you were saying last caller, so I'm...
You're a funny girl.
He's laughing, saying I'm a funny girl.
Oh, yeah.
So he's a good fan of yours, too. This is Sean G. from Dark Waters.
Hello, Mr. Sean.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Sean.
Hello. Are you Mr. Crazy Canuck?
How the heck are you doing out there?
I'm keeping it between the mayonnaise and the mustard, sir. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I'll get you back to Marlene, okay, sir?
All right.
Hello. Yeah, no, you're down in what, Tennessee? Is it Tennessee that you're in?
I'm on the border of Kentucky and Virginia. I'm just 15 miles from the border.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're in freeze up way up here. I think I talked to you before, and I think I showed you how far up north.
Mm-hmm. So what province are you in? Which province?
I'm in Alberta.
Alberta area.
So Alberta.
I know where Alberta is. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And way up on the northwest side, there's a city. It's called. If you go west from Edmonton, you'll see a city called Grand Prairie. It's almost right to the BC border. And then you'll see a little thing that says Beaver Lodge. and to give you a little joke, just do a little quick search on Beaver Lodge, like the town of Beaver Lodge.
Okay.
Yep. And tell me what you see what comes up.
Okay, let me see what's up in Beaver Lodge. Give me just a second. Beaver Lodge. Is this anywhere near Brockett?
No.
Alberta. Okay.
Yeah, Alberta. Beaver Lodge, Alberta. It's spelled like BeaverLo.
It shows a big beaver.
Yes, there you go. We've got the world's largest beaver. That's our claim to fame. We got a 40-foot or 60-foot beaver, I think it says there. And how long? And it weighs, I think it weighs like 12 tons or something. But just if you drive another half an hour from my place or from Beaver Lodge here over the BC border, you're at mile 1 for the Alaska Highway.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a big beaver. That's bigger than, looks like wider than 10 people.
Yeah. And, people, when they're always traveling by, they always stop and get a picture of themselves and with the beaver, or on some people can actually crawl up on there, but so that's our claim to fame. We were on a Canadian. We got a beer up here. It's called Canadian, and we were in commercial because they toured. I don't know. We've up here in this area. We've got a lot of Ukrainian people.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know what it is, but they all have that they want to have the world's largest something. So if you tour northern Alberta, like I know a town that's got the world's largest. Though it's got the world's largest hoe. Okay.
Yeah.
now we're talking about the gardening tool, not a woman.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
and then there's the world's biggest mushroom and world's biggest. We got all that sorts of stuff up.
Selkirk, Manitoba. There's the big the biggest catfish.
Biggest catfish? Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, Court says they've got the biggest catfish. He's a native, 3D native, and grew up on the
Selkirk, Manitoba. There has the largest catfish.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you have to get up there by plane or boat, I think, but plane first and then boat.
There was a big thing to do up there with a couple of kids that had killed a couple of people, and that was all over the news at, I think, the first of the year. I forgot who they were. It was a couple of kids that shot some people. Do you remember that?
Oh, I kind of do. But there were a couple other. Yeah, those 2 kids that shot that guy up by the Alaska Highway, and then they ended up way out, and they got through the RCMP, all the RCMP hunt for them, and were hit out. They found them in Manitoba, up in northern Manitoba, in a boat, and they had each killed them. Like each one shot the other one.
Oh wow. Speaking of Ukrainians, you would think that they would build the biggest pierogi. Pierogi.
There is the world's biggest pierogi.
Oh, really?
There is, yeah. If you do a search on that, you'll find a little northern Alberta town. St. Mike, I think it's called like St. Mike. Are you looking at it?
No, I just know Ukrainian very well, and that's all that come out of her mouth is pierogi this, pierogi that.
Just outside of Edmonton there, about 30 or 30 or 40 clicks. There's a Ukrainian sausage factory, and the town's called Mondaire, and they've got the world's largest sausage. Like literally, it's a sausage I can't remember. I think it's like 40 feet wide, and it's a couple feet thick, and everything outside of it. Yeah, they're pretty. Just everything has to be.
I cannot.
Baked up there.
Yeah, I cannot fault them by liking food so well. So, absolutely. Beet leaf buns. Have you ever heard that?
No, I haven't. But I know I eat beet leaves, like when they're from the garden. Just right the greens, right? Pick them and steam them and eat them. The tops from the beets.
Oh yeah.
But is that what they do with buns?
Yeah, they wrapped them in beet leaf. Miss T, my girlfriend, she keeps saying, "Hey, I'm gonna make beet leaf buns for you when I see you." And I was like, "Okay, I'm waiting for you." And she sent me a freaking picture of beet leaf buns she was eating of, and I said, "What are those? That looks pretty good." Those beet leaf buns. I was like, "Well, son of a gun, you're gonna have to make that for me."
Yeah, I'd be interested in knowing that too. Yeah. So I don't know if you remember, I had called in here, I don't know, it was about 7 or 8 months ago.
I remember your voice very well.
And about how my BigFoot.
Good night, Sean.
I'll have a good night.
He's leaving. Yeah, right. Hockey's calling. Yeah, about the BigFoot there that had chased me down, and then I ran into when I got back to camp. To me, I met the 3 monsters that day. One was that Bigfoot, but then when I got back to camp, there was that guy that told me, "Oh, come hide in my cabin." And you know, I was young and because my dad's one of those Pentecostal preachers, hell and brimstone and everything else.
Yeah.
Eh? So I was really sheltered, eh? And so when he came, he's like, "Oh, come over and give me a kiss." Oh, it's no, kiss me on the lips. Well, I didn't know anything about sex, but I knew that my mom and dad kissed on the lips, and that you're only supposed to do that when you're married. So that's why I ran out of there, because I followed my instinct. I had a very bad, after he said that, I just had a very bad feeling that if I stayed there, something really bad would happen, And so I just bolted out and went out, and sure enough, my mom was still screaming for me, and I went running up to her, and they gave me the licking, and that's why I remember everything, is because they gave me such a spanking, And you know, when I told them, like, okay, there's the spanking wasn't for taking off, but it was for that they were accusing me of lying, of making the whole thing, of seeing that there was something in the trees on 2 feet that was banging and breaking branches and stuff that was following us. And then I told them, I said, that guy there, in that camper, I said he was trying to, he wanted me to kiss him and stuff like that. And well, I got beat for that. Guy never even got questioned. Isn't that? I think that just goes to show the state of why so many things got away, especially in the churches. Because even to this day, I'm hearing of things, and the churches, even if it's something that happened, 40, 50 years ago, they still want it swept under the rug. And
true. Go ahead. Finish your thought. Hello? Well, apparently we lost crazy Canadian Canuck. God bless you for calling in, and Beaver Lodge. Yeah, I've heard of that place. from Miss T. She's told me about all kinds of crazy Ukrainian stuff up through there. But yeah. All right, folks. I said that was the last one for the night. Thank you, Crazy Canuck, for being my last caller for the night, and I appreciate it that you called in. And I actually had a fun time talking to that lady and her husband. So, folks, this is Chasing Truth. Please go over to IamDarkWaters.com. Go over to DogmanCams.com and look up the Vala Nightmares, their channel over on YouTube, and Dogman Cam's YouTube channel, and Dark Waters. I will be on Saturday night, 7 to 9 p.m. over on the Dark Waters YouTube channel, plus the Fringe.fm, live from 7 to 9, plus, who knows, I usually go over quite a bit over there, but I will have Al, a Shawnee, that's going to talk about the darker side of shamanism in the Shawnee Nation and parts unknown over in the Midwest. This Saturday night, live calls and everything, just like here. But we're going to be talking about the darker side of the shamanism over there in the Shawnee Nation this Saturday night. All right, folks, as I do every night that I do this show, every show that I do, that I'm host, I end it with a prayer. Dear God in heaven, thank you for today. Thank you for waking me up, waking everyone else up that has participated or listened to this show. Thank you for each and every one of the folks that called in. Bless each and every one of them and keep them peaceful, tranquil, and prosperous. Protect them from everything that is negative, evil, demonic, satanic. Out for the ruin of souls of man, extraterrestrial, inter and extra-dimensional. Those that do not care for whether they harm us or not. I pleaded the blood of Jesus Christ on everything and everyone that participates in this show. I pray for peace, prosperity, tranquility, and sanity for each and every one of us. Keep us all blessed and safe. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Folks, I appreciate every one of you. Holy cow, this has been I can honestly tell you, I walked into this show, rolled into this show, not feeling the greatest, but now I feel a little bit better. Just talking to all you fine folks. Appreciate you. You're one of those fantastic people that are, each and every one of you, fantastic. And I'm glad that you have thought enough about me to come over here and just say, hey, I want to listen to what Sean's talking about, or who he's talking to on the phone. But, yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play one more time this crazy thing from the backyard of Flat Rock Booger's house. Yeah, and this is just the strangest thing, and then I'll end it. All right, folks, whatever the heck that is in his backyard, I wouldn't want to see it, but I think I'm done for tonight, and thank you for all the callers, all 8 of them, from Wes, Mike, Bigfoot Anonymous, Connor Flynn, Jack, Joseph. Buddy, I would have loved to talk to you a little bit longer, but you kind of chickened out on me. Let's see, we've got Arlene, Tyler, and the Crazy Canuck. Marlene, appreciate y'all, one and all. God bless y'all. I'll see you this Saturday night over on the Dark Waters channel, Fringe.fm, and the Paranormal Radio app. Holy cow. I just don't get why you guys like to listen to me, but you do. Hopefully I give you something. Be a light in the people's world around you, because there's a whole lot that's trying to snuff out your light. So at least try to be a light to somebody in your life. God bless you, folks, and I think I'm out of here.